Greetings everyone, hello and welcome to a small game called Ostriv. And in this game, we're building up a medieval city, just like in Foundations or in Manor Lords. This game has been out for quite some time now and received quite well receptions, and it is pretty deep and pretty long if you're interested in that. Now, we are starting this game right away in March 1721 with, 2,000 gold coins in my pocket, and that's about it. And the first thing we need to do is we need to, settle. We need to find a starting location for my settlers camp, and we do have a couple of options for this. Not the other side of the river though, that is for later most likely, but in this case here, we can have a settle here or a settlement here. Now for this, I would like to check out my resources first, because we do have some iron ore over there and we also have some stone over here. These are the things that I'm gonna need the most, together with, let's check it out, some fishing spots, right? And then we have them as well. Since we're close to the river, it makes sense. Plus you could have a nice city along this river bank here. So I think I would like to settle somewhere here. Plenty of space around us, also some space for farming. Let's go ahead and get cracking on my first settlement. Also, by the way, it goes up here, so we can have the settlement basically starting here at the top of this smaller hill. And with that, my first people join us. It's 24 families coming out of the tents, decided to settle here. And all of them are simulated, fully simulated, I should say. They have their own, age, education, their own dreams, their own family, their own health, their own equipment, and they want to build up something beautiful here, hopefully. First goal is, to survive a harsh winter. It's March right now. We got about half a year until temperatures will drop. Until then, everybody needs to be housed. Let's get started on some basic industries. As usual, it's the logging camp. That is my very first construction that we need. We need on top of that though some materials for building, and that is a clay pit and a sand pit. And you cannot build them everywhere, as you can see, right? So also they're depending on the ground resources that we have close by. I want to have everything as close as possible, because otherwise transportation types take a long time. And all the way down here, we can have a sand pit closer to this smaller lake over there. So I think I'm going to have a smaller sand pit over there as well, and a clay pit not too far away right here beside that forest. We cannot just build, by the way, on top of trees. We would need to remove the trees. That takes time, so I'm not doing this for the moment. And the moment we place the first construction sites, my especially male population is going to deliver now those resources like nails, for example, and wood, and more wood that we need. In total, this construction site that we have requires nails and wood. Others might need a few more resources then. We are, by the way, starting with a camp storage, and there it is with some iron, nails, thatch, and fishing nets that we can use for something. We also have some carts, as you can see, but even those carts will need to be repaired at some point. Okay, and they're setting it up here. It's pretty, daunting to finally start a settlement in this harsh world, but I think we should be able to do it. And building houses in Ostriv is not an easy task. It takes time and patience, and it takes a lot of resources. In the meantime, my female population just sits around, because in Ostriv you have a pretty strict separation between male and female population. So they have their own specialized jobs, and right now they cannot do anything else here. Another building I'm going to need is the thatchery. So this is something where we can gather the reed that we have along the banks of a river. And for that, we need the reed that we have on the banks of the river. So there's some here, as we can see, but also, for example, on that side here. Let's build me one of these somewhere close by. I mean, it doesn't really need to be close by, but it, of course, makes sense. And also we're gonna need a fisherman here anyway at some point. Plus there's some stone here, right? So we can also set up some camp as well right away. It's a relatively cheap building as far as I know. It will not require such a long time to build. Alright, as we can see in the meantime, they're working on the foundation of my forestry. So it's still March, right? And we still have a bit of time. Also, there's a massive world map in this game. So here we are, and these are the cities around us then, where we can trade something with them once we have docks. So this is particularly interesting then once we build the docks on the river, for example. Alright, we're still waiting for nails and wood. That is lying around here though, in this box. There you go, and after a while we have finished our very first building, and with that also we finished the clay pit and the sand pit right away, because they don't need a lot of construction, just some wood for the fences. They give me endless amount of clay now whenever we need that in a construction. And the forestry, well, we can assign now 2 workers, and they're gonna chop some trees now, produce us wood and firewood. Gonna continue being busy now with the thatchery down there. Very good. You notice there's no paths or something that we can build, because that is being built automatically wherever there's a lot of traffic, just like in Foundation, for example. Next, it's finally time to start some of my houses, because 9 families need a tent, so we need 9 houses in total. Basic housing it is. Of course, we have a village house and a tavern, and then we have the level 2 houses, right? They look pretty neat for a bigger town or city then, once we can achieve that, but they need a lot of stone and bricks, stuff that we don't have yet. So the village house with a small garden it is, and let's get this going. The garden is important because it also has its own food production then, to some extent. And let's start here just by this forest here, right? I would like to have some basic houses here, just beside each other. Let's start with those 4. Right, that's going to take quite some time, as all of this requires a lot of materials, like 5,000 wood, nail, 1,200 clay, and 450 thatch. We have a building priority at this point, so the thatcher is the most important building I need to finish first, because we really will need a lot of reed. There it is, and the thatcher is one of the first workers or first buildings where there's women employed. That's a specialized building for women workforce, and finally some of them have something to do. Pelana, she's on her way right now. I don't know what I'm doing here. It was my friend's idea. Well, obviously, it's the man. In they go, getting their tools ready, and now producing reed for us. That's very important. And thatch, very important for roofs and stuff. It takes some time because it needs to dry in the backyard here. The forestry in the meantime has started firewood and wood production, so it's a combination of both, thankfully. And as you can see also, they continue now getting my resources from here. And start now with my house production. I love how they are transporting the walls around. 9 of these. That will take some time. I just really love how detailed that process is. You can also see the clay that is being moved into these foundation areas, into the borders. It's April now, and construction of the first village houses has finally now started to its completion then. This one already has all the resources in that it needs, almost. Finally, work on the roof began. And there it is, our very first house now, with a family that moves in right away, together with their son Roman. And they also have now wealth. And this is the important thing coming out of our first villages now. We can tax them, the village houses, right? So they are now paying me, well, land tax, that is. And also, they produce now a bit of food themselves. Also important, they can now produce additional children. With that, my town can start to grow. And the woman is already working a field. You should have left some room here as a path though. Construction of the next house begins right away. Of course, that's gonna take some time here. While they're doing this, we can also go ahead and plan my next industrial building, which is a charcoal pile. This produces charcoal from the firewood that my forestry does. It's a bit pollution heavy, right? So I'm gonna move it a bit further here to my clay pit then, as we are probably gonna need 2 of them. So let's have the first one like this. It's being built instantly, and you can assign laborers to that. That would be mostly women then, and laborers are gathering the firewood, mostly from my forestry. And the same with the reed. It takes time for coal to be finished, right? So it's not coming out instantly, and it's pretty labor intensive. There you go. They're now getting the firewood over. Building up a pile. And there it is finished, and now it takes some time. Probably a month or 2. And then we do have the first charcoal. The third house has been finished now. As you can see, there's some paths now coming up, especially where there's lots of traffic like here. And there's the next village house now in construction. With that, we got at least 3 families now that have some roof over their heads. And this also leads now to my first income, right? With that, we have now taxes coming in that we can then use, for example, for wages. For my expenses, we have the salary, for example, that we are paying, the worker salary, the manager salaries. We can then even adjust the salaries down the road, but of course this also affects then motivation. The game has very detailed statistics. We can see all the resources we have right now. That's not all the resources that are in this game, though. These are only the resources we have activated at this point. There's way more than that. And I can also see my population and also what they would like, what they have right now. So migration is allowed, but of course migration only happens when you have enough jobs and enough houses especially. There's no market at the moment, no housing and no jobs. So yeah, basically no one would like to join us at this point. Okay, village house number 4. The number 5 I've already queued in, and it's July now, so the clock is ticking. We still need houses for 6 families. Let's have the next houses over here then, so that we kind of like start building some blocks then in this area. Of course, we leave quite a lot of space between the houses themselves, and that's 2. And we need 3 more then. Actually, we need 2 more. I would like to have then the same thing here, so I can have another house then just like that, and probably having another one just behind it, like so. And then we should have all the houses. Also interesting, with every family that gets a house, the tents disappear. Alright, so it's just the tents now of the families that don't have a house yet. All of this here is getting more empty then, the more buildings we have, dedicated buildings then. By the way, here's my carts. And as you can see, the durability is already halfway through. So they're at 50% at this point. That means we also need to work on, something to repair our carts with. There it is, a Cartwright builds and repairs carts, wagons and plows. And yeah, it's another industry building. I'm gonna have this one here in my industry zone, just where we have the forestry, because they share the same resources. And once again, this will take some time. It's good to have this one close to my forester, and it'll be good to have it a bit closer to the center, because, you know, there's a lot of exchange between this building and other buildings. Okay, meanwhile, village house number... What is it actually? Number 6. That we're building now. By the way, numbers in this game can be quite high. We got 10,000 firewood right now and almost 10,000 wood. September is upon us, and in this case, 2 more months until winter. We still need 3 more houses. This is the one, and then 2 more here. Some decoration might do wonders, so I'm not building anything else here. So we can place a tree seedling down, so even decoration doesn't appear just right away. And in this case here also we have, for example, a birdhouse that we can add right here beside that village, right? Something like that. Details, especially around the paths then, right? Once we have then more finalized paths. A bell post. Finally, work on the last village house has begun. After this, everybody has a roof. It's October now, so pretty close that is. So you absolutely cannot delay the beginning of your village houses. Otherwise, you're not going to be on time and you're going to lose people. So it is November and we still haven't finished it. Come on, hurry up. It's for this family here, Marian and Katerina, together with their son. They're waiting for their roof. And there it is coming. There it is. We have now finally something for everyone. So last tent will now disappear over here. And with that, we only have those buildings here left. That is a well, right? That is a little campfire for people who sit around and chat. That is also a camp storage where we have the last things, stored here that we started with. That's some iron, 500 more nails, thatch, and some fishing nets. My carts, and as we can see, yep, they're down to the last 10% now or so of durability. And we get a camp center right over here with a mayor, that is Dimitro. And he is, well, governing my town for the moment. The proper town center should be also on my list for later. We can also assign some builders here or unassign them, depending on how quick I want to have my productions. Now we're working on the card right. That's rather quick. There it is. We can now assign a worker to that. I think one should do. And he is now repairing carts. Perform preventative repairs. That is important before the vehicle is breaking down. Right, I want to have this one. He's going to require some nails and wood, and he's going to probably get it himself. There it is. And so it is that winter is upon us. December, just in time we finished housing for everyone. And just in time also we have lots of charcoal ready for my firewood. Though we cannot be idle, we have no construction right now and we need more construction at all times. For the next year we need to work on food because so far we've only used the food that we started with. Plus we produce now some food in the gardens, but it's not going to be enough. Plus there's not a lot of variety out of vegetables. So that is important. Very important, a farm. Manages fieldworks, plowing and crop rotation. It requires a huge amount of resources, 8,500 wood. So we should really get started with that in a place where we have potentially a lot of space, right? So this here looks fine, but I probably would like to use this area here as I have no other plans outside of that. Let's have it not too far away, right? We're going to have the fields around it more or less. But since construction will take some time, I don't want to have it too far away for all the resource delivery then and so forth. So I think somewhere here it should be fine. Getting us the farm going. It should be ready by next spring, hopefully. Depending on the weather, of course. It looks pretty cold right now. Another thing I should get started is the smithy. The smithy is required to produce nails. Without nails, we will not be able to produce more building stone or build them. For example, we are consuming over 100 nails out of this farm and we have 300 more nails left. That's not a lot. We still have, however, some iron left that I can then process into nails. So we don't need an iron mine just yet, but a smithy is required. It's a pretty big building, so we're gonna have it then here in my smaller industry zone. I could have it just here beside my pits, or also, as a matter of fact, here, since we have some space here now, right? The forests are gone and we have a path here. How should we have it? Let's have it like so. Should be somewhere close to my charcoal pile, as the smithy requires a lot of coal. Okay, build a granary to buy food from citizens. That would be another goal. And we still need to continue building more houses, of course, if we want to grow. Oh yeah, that farm is still requiring a lot of resources. We don't have the thatch. 3,000. And finally, we're working on the last bits of the roof. This massive construction at the end of January, where we are now. There it is. Farm has been finished. Hooray! What a nice thing. And here we can now add fields to that. I think also now, construction of the smithy began. And in this case here, we need some wood and some clay left. That should be an easy peasy one. And it's consuming my last nails, right? And we're really down to 200 nails now. I think we started with 2,000. And now that's the last bits that we have. Just on time, really. If you're not ready, if you're consuming all the nails before you build the smithy, I think you're deadlocking yourself into a dead end, right? And that's why we absolutely need to build this one. Okay, let's add some fields now. And I would like to probably have this one right here by this forest here, the first one. And as you can see, we can then have it like so. Can we turn it? Yes, we could turn it. So that it looks towards the farm then. That would be field number 1. Let's add a second one right away. I think you cannot have more points than 4, right? I think 4 points is the maximum. And with that, we have the first 6 fields now over there. We can then expand over here if we want to, but I'd rather not for the moment, right? And we now need to activate them. So in this case here, let's activate a field. And this is now very important. It has, kind of like in Mana Lords, a field rotation system that you need to implement for this, right? So up here we have now the plow order that we can go. I think we need the oxen for this first. So we're gonna activate 4 fields for this year. And then we'll also need to add something, like for example, potatoes. And as you can see, this has field nutritions, right? It's red, green, and blue. And we need to provide all the nutritions for a year, for example. Potato gives me red and green, and it will be the strongest or the most fertile in summer season. Then we can do the same thing here. The cool thing about the potatoes is you can sell them right away. There's no processing required for them. The problematic thing is that we consume the nutritions that are in the field, right? So we get 100% red nutritions right now, and the potato will consume 50%. That means at the end of the year, this field will only have 50% red nutritions left, right? And in this case here, we need to rotate those crops then. Otherwise, we're losing the income out of the field, the nutritions. So we need to change this around all the time. We can have a manager for this, but right now I don't have enough workforce, so I cannot have a manager at the moment. For the next field, I'm gonna use buckwheat that we can have then. By the way, I don't need to click me through the fields here. I can just click the farm, and then we can have all the fields. I'm gonna have 2 fallow ones, the potato, the buckwheat. We're gonna use a sunflower as another very important one. I would like to use hemp as well, because we can use hemp then for clothing, right? And buckwheat, potato, sunflower, and hemp. 2 of them are gonna use fallow, so they're gonna be, for example, potatoes next year then. I'm gonna open up some vacancies here now for the farm, as we of course wanna use this one once the winter is over. So right now there's nothing anyway. We could also have a manager, and we can also supply this one with oxen that would help us out with the plowing process, but I don't have an ox yet, so that's nothing on my end that we can do here. Now at this point we need repairing for the carts, but we need metal parts for repairing. So my cartwright, he cannot work right now. It's really important that we finish that smithy here. A bit of wood is missing. And as we can see also, the field workers are in now. It's female workers, so they're now tending to the fields. I wonder if we should get this full or not. How many more women do we have? Out of the 12 female we have, 6 are working, right? So we still have some room, so we can still get more in. For the manager, I think we need a male one though, so this is not working at the moment. Finally, the smithy has everything it needs and can be finished. There it is. Let's assign workers to this one then right away. Producing then metal parts out of iron and nails. We can also set a production limit, right, if we don't want to endlessly produce something. Horseshoes, that's for later, so I'm going to set this one to 0 at the moment. Now, we can reduce the positions here now for, wait a second, for builders. Let's get rid of builders. 2. 3 builders should be fine, and this gives me then hopefully someone that works the smithy. What is going on? Okay, now we have them in. Takes a bit of time before they readjust. And now we have a smithy working. Out of iron and charcoal, we now get metal parts and nail. That's very important. We need the nails for construction. We need the metal parts for repairing of my carts. And he's now working out here at the forge. And there it is, our first nails. And hopefully also the first metal parts. There they are. And now my cartwright can use them for repairing. You need a minimum of 2 workers in the forestry to chop trees. So 2 will always need to work here. 2 work the smithy now. I think this is a bit too much, but we'll just see. And 1 is working as a cartwright. Okay, so for now, I think I would like to work on 1 more village house. Because, of course, we want to start also growing a bit. So let's have another village house, probably right here then. Beside these guys there. Squeeze it in. This will take a bit longer now, since we don't have that many workers anymore, right? Builders, only 2 now. We had like 6 last time. Oh, it's end of February. We have survived the first winter. No one died. Without carts, it's gonna take quite some time getting all the wood over. Hopefully we are able to repair this one here. By the way, this is also something we could work on. The camp parking place is right now in the center of the village, right? And it might be feasible to move it a bit further away. So that is the cart shed, or the smaller one. Cart parking holds up to 4 carts. This one here is, I think, a good basic one before I'm gonna go with a wagon shed, because the wagon shed requires 10,000 wood. And I think let's have this one here, and let's have it close to my cartwright, of course, right? Makes the most sense to me. For example, we can have it right behind it, like so. And here we can add then those carts that we produced or repaired, right? So keeping transportation times short here. Right now they're stored over there. Okay, still waiting for the metal parts. 6 we have now. Finally, the metal parts are in. 8 it requires for 1 repair. And now he starts repairing these carts. There you go. And we have a usable cart again. Of course, fishing would be another nice source of food that we can work on to stabilize our food income. So we have the vegetables out of the gardens, and we have then also our crops coming out of the fields, right? So this has started now. Gonna take some time though. And in this case, what we have now is the fishing as well. Now, nothing in Ostriv is easy, so I cannot just build a fishery and start doing this. We need a boatyard first. This one produces the fishing boats, then that makes it possible for me. Let's have the boatyard right here beside the forest. All the way down, it will require 6,700 wood and 134 nails. And once this is finished, we can start building some fishing boats. So a fishing dock comes in next after this. Let's have it a bit further away from it. Uneven terrain. Oh no, I cannot build it here. That's annoying. Here it's possible, but that is really far away. Okay, we can have it over there too. So you know what? Let's actually cancel it. And get it going here in this area. I think this would work out then. So the boatyard beside the thatchery. Yeah, I mean, we already have, you know, some building here or some buildings. So in this case here, makes sense to add more, and the fishing docks then as well. This is gonna take a long time though. Okay, so as you can see, they are now tending to this field here. Plowing has been skipped. Plowing is only necessary if you already had some crops here previously, as it replenishes some nutritions. And in this case here, they are now sowing the field with the potato seeds. It's April. Then we have sowing for the buckwheat. It takes place in May. For the sunflowers, it should happen now. So they're hopefully going for it. There you go. And for the hemp, it will also be necessary now. Alright, a lot of people can potentially help out too. As you can see, the game automatically picks up whoever has time to also help on the fields. But for potatoes, we are fine now. So we're gonna get a potato harvest in this year. Sunflower would be great as well. Finally, all carts have been repaired again. So here, we can now use them again. Already the end of April. So in this case, all the fields are now... almost all the fields. This one here, buckwheat, can now be started now. The hemp has been sowed. Very good. So there's also some growing here. We're gonna get some harvest this year. Fantastic. And since everything in this game requires actual hard work, right? Like the harvest, like the boat production, the fishing, it feels good when you get something done in this game. It takes some time, it takes work, but at the end you get some results out of it. Make your villages grow. Alright, these are gonna be deactivated. How's it looking here? Hasn't even started yet. We are working on the cart parking after the village house. I think I'm gonna get the boatyard to the front here after the village house, because we want to build some boats. This is also going to require work and time. Okay, all the resources are in for this village house. I might even go for more village houses, since we want to grow. Yep. Lovely! They even have some decorations here in front of their entrance. Some flowers. And finally another village house. So from now on we could grow, right? With this one it's empty at the moment. And as we can see, we need a market and we need more jobs. More jobs? Okay, I guess we need to start hiring people, right? Only if we have it up for hiring, this could work out. So this will definitely be available then once we finish our boatyard. We could, however, wait a second, open up more positions here, here, and here. And this is now hiring. So this should mean that we have now jobs. There you go, jobs available. A market is the last thing we need. And a market is something we need to have in the center. The problem with that is we need to have some storage first, I think. Now, I could, as a matter of fact, just get a market stall going here somewhere, right? Getting this construction done. We can then add something that we can sell to my population. By the way, not enough food for sale. So this is now a penalty. So just adding something doesn't, or just building something, you know, doesn't mean that it's fulfilled right away. We would have, for example, the carrot. We could start then selling the potatoes out of the harvest that is coming. And perhaps also some apples that we grow ourselves. We need a worker. It's going to be a woman again. And she's now preparing all of this. Where's the front? This is the front, right? There's the boatyard in all its glory. Fantastic. Here we now, of course, need a worker again. And then the orders, which is the boats, of course. In this case, nothing else happens here now. We need to finish the fishing dock as well. It's July, so there is a chance that we can still start the fishing this year. We'll just see. 4 builders again. So I think, yeah, we have 4 builders. They're juggling around everywhere, wherever there's demand. And look at my fields growing now. Beautiful. There's gonna be some harvest very soon. Now, before we can destroy the cart parking, we can actually drag and drop the carts to my new parking shed that we have over there. Interesting mechanic. And they're being delivered now over here and linked with this building here then. Also, we can order a new cart, right? So that means that this one here can now be produced. So there's a cart now in. The client is my cart parking. It's an order. And in this case here, once we have 15 metal parts, the cartwright will also start producing a new cart. And with that, we have then 4 carts available. Our fishing dock is coming along just fine. It's gonna take some time to build this one, especially it's a bit further away from the village, of course. And also, the next village house is working now. By the way, this cart parking is finished, so we can now demolish it, getting rid of another basic building here in the center. And with that, we only have those 4 buildings left. And there is also my cart parking now with 4 carts in it. Fishing dock has been finished. There it is. Let's assign workers to that and let's order a boat. And this order comes in now in the boatyard and is being hopefully produced. The fishing nets we start with 10. So we have them in right away. And in this case now I need the workers, right? And I would like to reduce the amount of builders I have again to only 2 for whatever construction they have left, the village house. So hopefully we're getting now workers in here that will then start producing my new boats. Just on time though, the harvest started, so this is where also some workforce is being used now, as we hopefully get something in. And there it is. Potatoes, for example. They're gonna be stored then here at the farm and can then be used by my villagers. Buckwheat and potatoes. This should be delivered then to my market stall. There it is. And with that, we have now everything ticked for the migration status. That means we should hopefully be getting a new family in soon. The potatoes, by the way, we sell at the market and make some profit out of that. Buckwheat, potatoes, sunflowers, I think was the other one that I need to add. There it is. Oh, sunflower oil. No, that's not the one. I cannot sell sunflowers directly. And the first customer purchased some potatoes in 1722. By the way, there is a wagon with a horse. So this is a trader, it seems. Or, no, wait a second. He was delivering a family. And in this case, we have grown. 27 people now live in our small town. So there's already demand for the next village house then over here. Very important. The harvest should be bountiful, so we will survive the next winter. But of course, we will also need to start then processing some of that into better things. It's gonna really take a long time here to harvest. I just hope that we have enough workforce. Okay, fishing dock has now worker and boatyard has now worker. So here we also now produce our first fishing boat that requires then, I think just planks, right? Should also require some nails. And then my fisher can start. And so another year slowly comes to an end. We have finally grown a bit. We are working on our first harvest. And hopefully, we are also starting to work on some fishing. So this is Ostriv. I hope you enjoyed this one. And we might continue onwards then here with more videos, building that village into a city. Thanks for watching. Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Ostriv. How very good of you to join. Take a cup of coffee, sit back, relax and enjoy as we continue growing our city, or our village. In the last episode we started with some tents and we already have some houses and generating some tax income out of this. It's the second year right now, it's autumn season upon us. And so far, things are looking quiet. We're also selling the first potatoes and the buckwheat at our market stall, making some coin out of this as well. And I would like to continue my expansion now with fish. Now, for this, we have started down here with the boatyard. So, who is it actually? Snovji. He's hopefully now starting the construction of the first fishing boat. This is a really interesting mechanic, right? So, you order the fishing boat at your fishing dock, and then the order gets kicked into the boatyard, and here the worker starts producing that, right? So the boatyard, of course, can produce a lot of different type of sea vessels, and this is one of them. And my fisher, Marian, he's waiting for that. There is also the option here to produce dried fish, right? Once we have normal fish in, but that's it. I cannot use the fish nets to, start fishing here. We need to wait for a proper boat to come out of this. Autumn season means harvest season, so we're still also harvesting as much as possible before it gets too cold. The sunflowers are also ready now, so that means that most of my workforce right now is concentrated on my fields, because also laborers come in, right? So that's people from all over the town to help with the harvest, because that's really the biggest priority right now, to get as much in as possible before it withers away. One of the main problems I'm having right now is workforce, so this is why we want to get an additional housing up and running as quickly as possible, and hopefully we're able to do this before winter arrives. Next thing I would like to do is build a granary, or a granary is required so that we can use all the productions out of my villages, right? And we can buy them up in a granary and then supply our market stall with that, with all different kind of things then. Potato and buckwheat, it is nothing else. So in this case here, a granary is important. It cost me 8,000 wood. Wood though is not the major problem here, it's the nails. 164 nails. We do have 87 here still in stock at my smithy, right? And I think some more here. No, that's it. So we are basically out of nails then. 2 people work this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the amount of metal parts we produce now to 0. I only want to produce nails. We have some repaired carts, and also we have some metal parts at my cartwright. So this should still last us a while, right? To have this one going. 500 iron is in. How much more iron do we have? Another 400. Okay, so this will still last us a while. Let's build the granary somewhere here. The reason for that is it's close to my village, it's close to my center, and it's close to my farming area, right? So it's kind of like, kind of like in the middle of all of this, and makes the most sense to me. Let's place it. This is going to take quite some time to set up, right? Anyway, we do have the village house finished first. It has all the resources though, so this will be finished. I don't have a lot of workers or builders. Let's increase that amount as well. Once we have built the boat, we get a worker back, but he's still taking his time as well. Can I see how much a boat costs? He's delivering all the wood now in, but that's still not enough. With only 2 builders, it's really taking ages. It's October now, the middle of October. Now we got 3 builders. Someone joined? Yep. Probably because the harvest is finished now, mostly. Yeah. Just the hemp farm now. So the laborers are almost all gone now. Yeah, it's the roof again. And we have a new home with all the migration checkpoints fit. So in this case here, we should expect another family coming in soon. And the family settles in. So we got 30 people now in our little town. Olexa and Lesia together with Omelyan, 29. And he's moving in with his parents. The boat is coming along. And there it is. And of course, Artem delivers it to the fisher right away. That's quite valuable, a fishing boat. Coming in, and there it is now. And yeah, Marian, he's working this. I don't need a boatyard now, right? So until we need to repair the fishing boat here, I don't need anyone working this for the moment. The granary comes along. The granary, in this case here, we still need 7 nails and we don't have them at the moment at all. So Artem is now joining here also at the smithy. Also, a child has been born in this family here. Means that we have, yeah, another mouth to feed. Now it's winter and the harvest is now fully in, and as we can see, 2000 hemp, 1500 sunflowers, 1700 buckwheat, some smaller things, hemp seeds, hemp harvest. So seeds we're also getting out of this now. Okay, and then 2600 potatoes. That will last us for quite some time. Now, as we can see, this changed now the nutrition values of the fields to, yeah, lower ratings, right? Especially for the sunflower. That's pretty crazy. So we want to now change the crops for these fields, right? So here we can see that we have a lot of red now, since buckwheat didn't cost me any red. So I can now go ahead and, for example, say for this field, then something entirely different. By default, I would like to deactivate those that had like a potato and the buckwheat, right? I'm going to deactivate that. We're going to activate these for the next year. And we're going to choose here now potatoes for that one. This is just too good to not have any of that. And we could go with wheat, sunflower. I would like to have more sunflowers then again. White sunflower, sunflower. This one's been deactivated and this one with the sunflowers is also now deactivated. We're going to use them then a year after this again. And here I would like to change things up a bit, as we can now use sunflower on this one, and on this that had the hemp, I can go ahead now with the potatoes as well. I was looking with the fisher, brings in the first fish. Great stuff. I think the lake is now freezing. But 35 fish it is. Fantastic. Can't fish in winter. Yeah, perfect time, right? I could, of course, dry the fish now, right? Makes it more durable, but we need salt for that. I don't have salt, so we can't do it. I wonder what's going on here. Why are you not finding any nails? We have a smithy right next to it. And they are working, apparently. Doesn't seem to me like they're producing nails, though. Oh, I see. We need more charcoal. Why is no one doing this then? Because we have too many people? Oh, we're still having the harvest also. Okay, I see. This one here has been harvested, but the resources still lying around. So that's taking them some time. And no one is producing charcoal in the meantime. This is a dangerous cycle. So that is something hopefully that we can fix after this harvest. And to not have that happen again, I'm just going to build another charcoal kiln right away. So that we have a bunch of them at the same time. Okay, and now they're working on that again. It's a lot of firewood you need. Finally, we have some coal again. It's a lot. It's 10,000 coal coming out of one batch. It's being delivered 8,400 out of this one. And getting right into the smithy done. Now we have the nails production up and running once more. And now the granary has everything it needs. There it is. In all its glory, we can now start collecting resources here. Right? That would be, for example, the potatoes that I absolutely want to have. I think, can we have the sunflower? Perfect. Definitely should have that in. So this is all right next to the field, right? And then we can check up what my people produce. So it's a lot of honey, for example. Honey might be something, horseradish, carrots. I think carrots might be a good idea to also have available. I'm gonna add carrots to the mix. There it is. We need a worker. It's women doing this one mostly again. And here I need to choose now how much we should have of everything. And, you know, the maximum storage is 20,000. So I'm just going to say 2,000 each. I think this should do nicely for the beginning. Then I'm trying to store these things then at my granary. Buckwheat is another one. There you go. And things are being stored in here already. And we can use this then to get the potatoes, the buckwheat to the market stall, and the carrots that we can also sell now. By the way, can we have fish in the granary? Would make sense, right? There it is, fish. 2,000 for the fish and add fish to the market. Let's continue with another village house. I would like to have another one here so we can finish this block here more or less. There you go. And probably also another one over here behind those guys. And on top of that, I would like to start also with a town hall. This is really important as we want to have a place to govern our people, determine taxes and workers, and get rid of the governor or the captain's tent right there in the center. Where should we have this one though? We got several options, either here. There's some paths here, but they will just disappear. I think this would make the most sense. Having this one then somewhere in this area. We could also have it here. This is more cleaner looking for the moment. That also works out, right? So I think, yeah, why not? Let's have this one here. A town hall. We will need space for a church at some point, and of course a bigger market, right? But this is where our town center is growing now. Piece by piece. Building by building. Another year is over, another begins. It's March 1723. A child has been born. Perfect. So we continue to grow. With the new village houses, I'm expecting then two more families. The fisherman continues his work again. Out here, producing us fish. And the farmers should now go for, let's actually enable all the workers again. Now, while we watch them building the next village house, something I notice is that we're dropping dangerously low on money. So soon we're gonna leave the 4-digit area and drop below 1,000 coin. The reason for that is that right now we are not making the best income. Look at that. So we are making 43 income per year out of the housing rent that we have and the land tax. There's also the local sales now, so that's my market stall, but nothing with exports at the moment. And this is something we could work on. For expenses, we have the salary and the worker's salary. So the salary is the total one here, of course. And this is divided into manager and workers and laborers. Income-wise, I can increase my taxes once I have the town hall finished. That is a good income. Of course, the market stalls provides also a constant good income. By the way, can we have firewood? Oh yeah, we can sell firewood on the market stall. I didn't know that. So we will need to build another market stall. That's in the trade and export once again. Market stall number 2. Gonna have this one just behind the other one. Here. And on top of that, we can build a whole new building, and that is a trading post. And this allows me then to trade with other cities on the map. However, it's freakingly expensive, right? So we're looking at 24,000 wood, 500 nails. The clay is irrelevant since that is endless, but the nails and the wood especially, that's dropping me hard right now. So where should we build it? It's also a pretty massive building, right? Oh, by the way, 2 people have married. And, oh, that's 2 kids that we had, right? Or, you know, young adults. And they have married and created their own family now. And as we can see, they have now a family tree. So that's the parents, right? They are also still living here. And they are now created their own family. So there's no migration happening with this. Rather, it's a new family created. And they're now, of course, hopefully producing then kids for us. This one here is still being produced though, or constructed, the village house, but we're gonna need more houses soon. Now, about the trade post, we still need to find a suitable location for this. The thing is, we already have the river here, and there's gonna be a dock at some point, right, where we can trade. So to me, it makes sense to have the trade post close to this, as it's close to my future trading zone. The bad thing is that it's a bit far away from where we produce things. It was a bad coincidence since I can't build anything here, right? It's too uneven, so I needed to go with this location. I thought I could have it here. This would have made the best sense to me. It's still gonna work out though, because we can still squeeze it in here nicely, just beside my productions, right? And this is where I would like to have this building then. And in that case, it's also close to where we produce everything. Plus, there's gonna be more production here, because here we have the stone, and here we have the iron then especially. This is gonna be a nice area for production. By the way, do we have fishing spots on this lake? We have. Fantastic. We can also get some fish out of this and create a smaller fishing area here too. And why not? Let's also squeeze in another house here. So we get 4 buildings now in queue. And I don't know. The village house is definitely faster. The trading post will take a ridiculous amount of time before we can finish that. So I might add another one to the smithy, because we want to produce more nails than ever. And the thing is with the forestry, we do have the 10,000 wood, but we cannot go higher. So 10,000 is the maximum limit you can have on wood. Fantastic, another village house. It's June, so now we're working the town hall. The laborers already deliver the resources, and the builders will then just finish the construction. I just love those gardens. Beautiful. Just yearns for some proper decorations here, so we can have just here along the path, right? I would like to have some trees. Probably also on that side. So that it doesn't look so naked, everything. And some benches. They also work. Great. And for this new house, a new family was created right away. So once again, no people moved in. It's just a family that's already here that was created with that. The Povali family. And by the way, what we can also do here is adding some fences, especially then around the town hall. So people don't move around here chaotically, right? So I don't want to have this. I want to have a clean area around the town hall. So that we can separate it a bit and add some smaller decorations to it. Doesn't cost you anything, really. There it's coming along. All the resources are in, so they can now finish the building. Our biggest one so far, town center. And camp center with that is obsolete, so they will move over now. There it is, and the camp center is gone. And now we have this central building here, and with that we have the builders. We have now a councillor position, okay? The mayor, and I should be able now to, yeah, there it is. I can now add the taxation, so I can now increase this, for example. And I would like to do this for the village housing rents, especially. So I'm going to greatly raise this one here to 70, and I'm also going to raise the land tax to 50. The reason for that is that my people are pretty rich, so they have a good amount of wealth in, so they absolutely can pay more taxes, right? And we just see how it goes. If people get a bit nervous about it, it should be fine. Then we're going to reduce it, but I don't think so. I think this will be fine. At the same time, I could lower the taxes or the wages a bit, just a bit, to fill things around here. Local sales, the market production price, I'm going to keep it 100%. And yeah, we'll just see how that turns in now. That should really make a difference. Now work of the trading post has begun. This is going to take a long time, but as I can see, the nails are already in. Very good. So it's just a lot of wood and clay now. Another thing I've noticed is that my well is running out of water. The reason for that is that the well is refilling water over a period of time. And as we can see, the stock is still going down. So we need to build another well. And for that, we have a few available. It's a normal basic well. The stone well costs me stone that we don't have yet. So it's going to be a basic well. We should not build it close to the the river. As you can see, there's only low quality water available close to the river, as it is a bit polluted. So we need to stay away from that and have it a bit further over here. We do have a nice spot here that I would like to use for my next well. And since wells are relatively cheap, only 2,000 wood, I would like to add another one as well. And we probably could do it here. You want to have a bunch of them spread out through your town. Already harvest season again for some fields, like the potato here. Lots of sunflower, lots of hemp again. We haven't even used the hemp from last year yet. That would be a good opportunity to trade at the trading post. Another thing we can go ahead with right away is the weaver workshop. So this produces textiles and threads from hemp. And that would be a next logical choice of an artisan building. Space-wise, that's the tight thing though. So we can either have it here. I think this would make sense. It's a low pollution building and it's close to the source of where we produce it. Here I would like to have a warehouse. So I'm gonna try and get this one going then here. Or closer to the field there. There you go. Because we're gonna need another building there as well at some point. All the production materials are in. And 5 builders are now doing the job. What a building! I really wonder if there's anything more complex than the trading post in this game. And yeah, we are in the last steps of it now. And after this, we have something to trade, finally. And that is, of course, my surplus that we're producing out of the farm. There it is. Let's assign a worker to this right away and start an export stock now. Now, in this case here, we do have a bunch of things, of course, that we can start selling. I'm really thinking about hemp. We do have a lot of hemp. We're gonna need hemp too, of course, for my own production. But I think for export stock, let's start with 500. I think this is a sensible thing to do. And, by the way, I guess we need to check out the world map. Oh, they don't even have a trading post yet. They need a dock, so I cannot trade with them outside of that. So hemp it is that we probably want to sell. I could probably also sell some firewood, since we always have a lot of that in stock. And that's it. It's only the available stuff right now that we're trading. There's a worker, Artem, and he's now stocking this one. Sunflower, by the way, was the other one that we have in huge quantities right now. So far it's being stored in my farm, and now we can then start hopefully selling it. Next is already the village house here. Has all the resources. That was quick. And then we have the weaver workshop. Of course, the more people we have, you know, the faster we can also then work on construction. There's a nice path here then that goes then here to the back of this. And there's also a nice path already that has formed here. So of course it would make sense to have some additional, you know, farms then here between that. And I guess like that, for example, we could add 2 more houses then. Okay, now I only hope that we will be able to sell something. November, of course, so harvest season is just about to end. Lots of sunflower, lots of potatoes, lots of hemp again. Do we have a maximum storage in the farm? Can you just endlessly store things here? I think you can. That's a lot. A lot of stuff that we can store there. Alright, this one's coming along. So this is also looking a bit chaotic here, right? And it looks then more orderly once we get into proper city building, proper city infrastructure here. I wonder if there's a way of, you know, controlling the pathing. Like in Foundation, you have the pathing area, the no-go area and stuff. Okay, next village house is ready for action. Hopefully someone moves in. Perhaps not someone of a family. The well, that was fast. Well number 2, very much needed, as this one is running out now. And as we can see, water is already filling up here. Okay, also the second market stall has been finished. So here we can also assign now the goods that we are not selling so far. So fish, potato, and buckwheat it is, together with the carrots that we don't have here yet. Take from other granaries, buy from local producers. There you go. And the cabbage. So cabbage and carrots then. Here we make the cabbage. Sunflower? We're not selling sunflower so far. Might also be something my people need. Sunflower oil. Yeah, that's right. The normal sunflower is not even in here. But firewood is. So there you go. Firewood, cabbage. Sunflower is full on this one. I wonder how much I have to pay for this. Cabbage and carrots. Guess we're just gonna find out. At some point. A new family moved in. And with that, we're closing in on 40 people. Once again, no housing available, so this is where I'm gonna have another block then. And the Weaver Workshop is my main goal right now. This will still take some time. I also love how they are wearing winter clothes in winter. So far, they're using the clothes that came with them, right? At some point soon, we're gonna need to produce clothes then for them. Let's hire a worker again for the boatyard, as the fisher is running low. The boat here needs some repairing again soon. Fishing nets we still have plenty, so nothing I need to worry about for the moment. Perfect. This one's fully supplied now. Now we're already working then on the next village houses. There it is. Weaver Workshop. We can add someone right away. And this one's now producing threads and textiles out of hemp. I think the textiles, so there it is. The first textiles are already coming in. Can we sell them? No, unfortunately not. We can make clothing out of the textiles though. And for the moment, I could also sell the textiles on the market. Like 100. I'm gonna once again activate the fields now. Over here, they're full on nutritions. So this is the... this one's potato. It's full, right? This one has the hemp. Let's deactivate that. Would like to continue with hemp production though. So that's this one. Hemp. Here we don't have anything, so I'm gonna deactivate this one. Here we have the blue one. The blue one would be buckwheat or flax. With the buckwheat. And here... no, this one's also exhausted. Fallow. Yeah. I'm gonna deactivate it and keep it fallow for the year. I really dislike how some of the pathing here works, so I'm gonna cut into this one, right? So we're gonna say here, do not walk. I hope it works like this, right? And then we're gonna make a fence here. I mean, it's very counterintuitive to have the fence close to the market stalls, but at the end of it again, I can have the fence then here. That continues then along the path here. And here we have the fencing from the town hall. Right, but I want to have people walk here and not through that, especially those people there, right? So I'm also going to make a fence here. They're using my official pathing. And here I'm going to leave it open for the moment. We'll just see how it turns out. You know, there's going to be some buildings here again in the future. So that is just a desperate way of trying to control the pathing here. And it works, right? So they're now taking this area. So, and this should disappear again. And then we could also make the same thing here. So there's the pathing. I mean, it's already here. It's already right. There you go. And then here. And here we have the villages. So we're just gonna make fence then go here, you know, for this entrance. And here, we're probably gonna build more stuff anyway. We can always just get rid of the fencing again if I don't like it. Here I would like to... I mean, here we have the well. Once again, probably just a path that we keep open for now. There we have the well. I'm probably gonna get rid of it now, as we have 2 additional wells surrounding it that produce now enough water. The campfire I would like to keep though. And the camp storage we can also keep for the moment. But, of course, I also want to build now a warehouse. There it is. It's relatively cheap, all things considered. And I would like to have it then, of course, here somewhere in the town center, where we do have then also our productions. And another thing we probably need at some point now is then also our tailor workshop. This produces then clothes out of the textiles that we produce here. So that is something that we can have. Actually, we could have it here, right? On this main road that we have there. Increase the density a bit. And I think it's a nice building between my houses and my industry zone. And I would also like to add more village houses as always. It's this one. Why can I not build it here? Okay, you can have a maximum of 4 only. Is that right? Looks like it, because here I can snap it, but here I can't snap it. Strange. Next village house, there it is. On here. Yeah, let's do it here. We dropped below 1,000. So this is something that hurts me now a bit. Let's check it out. Income again. Did we sell something already? Export? Nope, nothing yet. But we're making more money now out of the market stall. Yeah, firewood especially is selling quite well. I think I'm going to have this one on the second market stall as well. Instead of... I mean, here we're selling everything. Except carrots, you know? The thing with carrots is we produce them ourselves. Like, everyone is producing it. So... I don't really think I need it. I think I'd rather go with the firewood than here too, in 2 market stalls, because the demand for that is really high. A new family moves in. It is the year 1724, 3 years from settlement started, and we've grown past 40 now. They even bring some sailor with them. By the way, I don't have any pigs yet or so. This might be another nice project. Have some animals then. Alright, let's once again quickly check my fields here, because 2 of them once again are inactive. We have actually 3 inactive ones. That's the buckwheat and potatoes. Should be fine, as we're also really full on potatoes. In the granary, I might want to up the potatoes to 5,000. Always want to have that in stock. Next village house. That was really fast this time around. And we're working now on the warehouse. And after that, a tailor shop. You know what? Let's actually have the tailor somewhere here then. Alright, so... there you go. And the tailor comes here together with the weaver right away. Both of them here work together then. And there's now the warehouse coming up. And we are also once again out of housing. It's filling up so quickly that every time you build a village house, it's immediately filled. There's my warehouse now, fantastic. And in here we can now store, I would, as a matter of fact, store some wood, because we have, oh, the capacity is only 10,000. Ooh, that's not a lot. Okay, then let's go ahead and store some nails here, so that we can continue producing them outside of my smithy. Textiles might make sense. And thatch, you know what? Because this is a construction material. Right now it's being stored in a thatchery at the river. Alright, let's add 2 workers to that, potentially. And they can then work this place. Okay, income-wise, we're definitely making more income now than before. Local sales is increasing, especially here. I'm inclined to get the village and the land tax up again. So far so good, the town continues to grow. Now I'd really like to start exporting stuff. We are gonna produce some clothes now, and I could also slowly think about some mining. But all of that, probably in the next episode of Ostriv. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Ostriv. Once again, I'm enjoying this game a lot and I hope you do too. Thanks for coming back and stick around to this series. And yeah, in this episode, it's a 1724 right now. And we are about to finish our tailor workshop. About to finish is always a bit relative in Ostriv because everything just basically takes a long time. About to finish means that we're in the last third or so, yeah, working on the roof now. This will still take some time there, depending on my workers, and there it is as well. We can assign a worker then right away. I mean, we don't have a lot of workforce, so the weaver workshop requires female, right, and the normal tailor workshop requires then a male. And in this case here, you can also make a hire option, right? We can say here hire men, hire women. You can actually have both of them enabled for this building here. So the game, and this is something I haven't even checked out that often yet, has pretty deep systems here for hiring options, for the resource supplies that you want to have. Also, you can go with supply the source or the supply sources. The closest one is usually by default, of course. You can even make that, right, happen. So a lot of options for you to choose from. Now in here we're producing now clothes out of textiles and threads, and warm clothes out of broadcloth and sheepskin. We don't have sheepskin yet. We don't have broadcloth yet as well, but we do have textiles. So this should be working out as people already deliver that back and forth. I love how they enter the building. Fantastic. And the materials are actually stored in a cart, and then once it's empty they head back to the cart storage and get the cart back. Beautiful. And with that we got textiles in and a cloth production ready for next winter. Now, my main problem is money, as a matter of fact. So we are at 960. We're actually making some money again. And that's the local sales. My land tax has, well, basically exploded, obviously, since we have raised the taxes so far. And as you can see, we're now coming closer to my expenses. What I need for the trading post still is a manager, and there it is. We have one now. And the manager should make some deals now for us. There it is. We can send a messenger now to these cities. For this we need a trading dock. For this one, Balakila, we do need to send a messenger. This only cost me 40 coins, so that's something we should consider. And the same goes with their Kachi. Let's go ahead and send them a messenger too. Sending them a messenger, telling them, yeah, well, we are up for trading, right? We are there, we're alive, and we can trade. For the boat yard, I'm ordering a second boat, so we have 2 boats then, and it's already being oh wow, that's fast. Is this already the boat? Yeah, we finished the boat already. That was super fast, considering how long it took last time. Now we also have the trading up and running, so visiting for 30 more days with Balaklia. So there we have it now. And in this case here, we can see now what they have, what they demand. And yeah, we can probably sell them something, right? Like I can think about potatoes. If I give them some of that, not that much, but I would say 1,200 potatoes. And this is then for 96 coin. It's not a lot, right? We can also say the same thing about textiles. We have a lot of textiles. If I sell them 1,200 textiles, we get 240 coin from this. Fantastic. Okay, here I need to ask, where did I get leather from? We'll need to check this up because I have no idea right now. Now, once this is ready, my traders should make sure that we get these things in, right? So also the potatoes, yeah, the potatoes. And as you can see, there it is now happening. And Merafa is visiting us, so that's the village from over there, right? So they can also now, yeah, trade with us. I wonder, I mean, I think Yeah, in 17 more days, the prices are outdated then, right? So we need now constant messengers back and forth to update the pricing on these goods. And there are the traders coming on the wagons, buying flour, buying potatoes. We don't have that yet in stock. We have the potatoes here. I'm gonna say 1,500. And off they go again with the potatoes, and we make some coin. Fantastic. First trade. We can also see that they offer me animals, for example, like live chicken. And that is something, or cows and pigs, that I would absolutely take up on. So if we go, for example, now into my chicken coop, there it is, we can build it, right? And I would like to do this. Let's have the chicken coop close to my farm, somewhere here. And I would like to get going on some chickens. We can then import them. Also, a child has been born. We definitely will need a bit more workforce though for all of this to work. So, you know, chicken coop it is. It doesn't require a lot of resources. By the way, 1,000 coin. We are in the 4 digits again. Fantastic. We are breaking even now. And beside the chicken coop, of course, let's continue with more houses, right? Where should we have more village houses? We can have another one here for sure. So just along the forest, I would like to have 2 more. And here in the back, this block here, we can also do now, right? So we have another block then here. Don't forget, this is gonna be kind of like, yeah, high density buildings here, right? So can we squeeze one in here? Nah, doesn't look like it. So we also have the village houses, right? This is without a garden, but I'm not entirely sure about them as they don't produce me anything. And I really like to have those gardens. They help you out a lot. So for now, let's just stick to them. Now, prices are outdated, so we once again would need to send a messenger, right? So this is something, okay. We need to constantly do this. I wonder if there's an upgrade to the messenger at some point to automate this, but we'll just see. I mean, it costs you lots of coin each time, so I'm gonna wait now until I have some stock again. We know there's a demand for potatoes. We know there's a demand for textiles, for clothing. Clothing-wise, we are sitting now at 260 clothes. Fantastic. That was very fast. So this production is working. There's also threads being made here that we can then make into fishing nets, right? Oh, the messages though can also appear from them, so I don't need to send messages all the time. Fantastic. So now we could sell again, and they have a demand for sunflowers. And as a matter of fact, we do have 2,800 sunflowers. Let's say 1,500, right? And let's make this one into a deal. Then we have the buckwheat. I don't have buckwheat. That surprises me a bit, but okay. Iron, metal parts, and flax. I don't have any of that. Soon I will be having those chicken eggs, but they're also relatively cheap, all things considered. But one thing we can do is get the chickens in, right? For 12 each, let's make 10 chicken for 120. And let's make a deal. And we should be able to finish this until they arrive. I hope. Come on, the chickens are on the way. The roof, there it is. We got the chicken coop ready. Let's assign workers to that and get the chickens in. Haven't arrived yet. And the chickens have arrived. They need the water, right? There they are. In my chicken coop, and with that we have now an egg production up and running. We can then hopefully sell the eggs at the market stall. I don't think we can yet since... Oh, there it is. Chicken eggs. Fantastic. As a new good. And of course it will also need to be stored at the granary. So I'm going to add chicken eggs in here as well. And just as the next village house is being built, we have reached 50 people living now in our little town. Harvest season is upon us again. Lots of potatoes and hemp. And now that we're starting to get some livestock, I will also need to work on some additional crops over here then. But this, I'm hoping that someone moves in fast enough so we can have a manager at the farm that is automatically rotating crops for us. Right now, we still have the wheat in that we imported together with the chicken. So in this case here, 3 months? Yeah, this should... It will last us at least a year, depending on how long the wheat is holding. I think it holds quite well throughout the year, right? So in this case here, it should be fine. But we will definitely need to have the harvest then going for next year. That is, of course, wheat along the way. Harvest. Oh, we're still waiting on the potato harvest to come in. We can see there's also a little path now forming here where the traders are coming in and out, right? So over there, through this forest here. Now, I don't like to have so many paths going in and out of the village there. So I can make a fence and try and control this in a reasonable manner. So this guy here also, from the fisher, goes this way quite often. That leads to a path here. I don't like that. So I'm gonna make a new path or a new fence here that, as a matter of fact, cuts off this area and goes then all the way here. Right, so I don't want people to just mindlessly go through the forest creating all different kind of paths, and we're rather just having him then go this way. Right, so this path here should disappear again over time, and this path here from the traders we could also redirect. So we could say, okay, they have to go this way through the village or along the banks, or we just keep this path here that we have now and make this one into the main path so that we have one controlled path going in and out. I think I would like this more, so we're gonna make another path then that goes into this one and basically ends then with the warehouse. So they're using this one now and getting into my main industry building or industry zone here, right? So I'm gonna make here, make it a bit bigger, right? And we're probably going to redirect then those charcoal piles. Right now they're empty, by the way, so that would be a perfect moment to do it. These charcoal piles, and let's have them, yeah, we could have them in the forest with the firewood the closest, or uneven terrain really for something as small as this. Okay, let's have one here and one here, just beside my clay pits, clay mine. The new messenger comes in. Wheat, charcoal, chicken eggs. Do we have chicken eggs in at this point? We still don't have them. You would have cows though. How much is a cow, by the way? 40! Whoa, that's a lot of money. I will still need to wait on that a bit. What I like about the trading post, it's a huge building, right? But it has a path through it, so everybody can just go through that. I like this. It's kind of like a controlled main street, and people use it a lot, right? So this is how it should be. Fantastic. Okay, there's the chicken eggs now. Took them a while, but now it's coming in. They consume a lot of wheat, by the way. Do I have already a manager possible? No, I don't think we have the personnel for it. The next house is still being finished. More people move in. We're still bringing in the harvest. It's already December. Doesn't matter. So we can see now that these fields that we've been using now are very low on nutrition. So I'm gonna deactivate them. And now we have these here and they're full of nutrition again. So we can activate the hemp farm again for next year. The potatoes and sunflower. And I think wheat is red and green nutrition. Potatoes need the same thing, right? Red and green, yeah. So we cannot have them like this. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, we have a manager now. So we can now have a rotation, right? So we can say, for example, potato is potato and then fallow and then potato again, for example. I can also, of course, say potato, fallow, and something else that doesn't require the same nutritions. For the potato, it is the red and green. And, yeah, almost everything needs at least the green or the red. This one here, buckwheat. Hemp is very low though, so or flax. Yeah, let's try this. We can activate the field again. So I don't need to deactivate them all the time, right? We have hemp here, and next year it's going to be, for example, then, because hemp only needs a bloom primarily, so I could say wheat, and then it's fallow, right? So it could be... Wait a second. Okay, so this will be my general rotation now. Some of those fields are quite productive with sunflowers, buckwheat, potato, hemp, and fallow in between, using the nutrition values that we can have. And others, like this one here, are then for wheat production. And in this case here, it's also always fallow in between. This one here uses wheat and hemp together with wheat and flax then. I probably can do the same thing here at least once in the middle. And the question here is, let's go with hemp for now. As flax, I think I don't need that much at the moment. Fine that we have some clothing now, but outside of that, I think we're fine. So with that, we have now quite the nice rotation here, set up through all the fields. We'll just see how well this works. But for now, I think it's fine. We need a manager, of course. There it is. And he's now overseeing then all of this automatically. So I don't need to deactivate and activate fields all the time and change the crop rotation myself, right? It's automatic now. Alright, the last village house is already being built, so this one here has been finished, people moved in, and with that we got 57 peeps. Fantastic. There is the next one, and we can also see that in the last year, so that was just ago, we already sold chicken eggs now as well to my population. It's also worth note checking out the wealth of my citizens. So what we can see here is that a lot of them are pretty wealthy, right, with over 100 coin in their pockets. So perhaps I need to still increase taxation. He's just moved in. Messenger wise, I think we're fine for the moment. We're exporting some stuff, but that's it. I'm waiting for messengers, as messengers are really expensive. I don't want to spend that coin all the time. We can also implement a wealth tax. That is really cool. So the wealth tax threshold is 100. So whoever has more than 100 coin needs to pay the wealth tax. And let's start by 0.5%. I think it's percentages, right? Or is it an actual coin? Okay, there it is coming in now. And I'm going to say, well, 1, right, for the wealth, yes. Perhaps this also makes a nice difference here. And there's also a tavern tax. I haven't built a tavern yet. It's pretty expensive. 250 nails is something I don't want to spend right now, because there's another problem now brewing in the background, and that is my nail production, or my iron, for that is. We are out of iron now, so 24 iron are left out of the, I don't know, 1000 that we started with. And after this, there's no more nails coming in, right? And we're sitting at 1000 nails right now. That's fine, but it's not a lot. So we will need to make sure that this problem gets solved as well soon. Importing iron can work as well, right? So for 500, it's only 60. Okay, so you know what? Let's spend this on 500 iron and postpone the iron production for now. Now, we don't have any construction right now. I can't allow that. So yeah, it's of course more buildings again for more people. 60 we have. Let's have more gardens again, or more houses with gardens. And yeah, I'm still unsure what I'm doing with this space here, but what I know is that we can absolutely have another block of houses here. And come on, I cannot squeeze it in like that. I just cannot get it though straight. So, there it is. Okay, if we hold control, we can actually have it a very, very slow angle. So there you go. This should work out. That's number 1 here, and the rest is not that problematic again anymore because it snaps to it, like this one. Let's have 4 more houses, as we have the materials. And that's just a lot of workforce that will be coming in then. Another block here. And by the way, we are above 1000 again, so this additional tax also makes something. But as we can see, export really makes a bunch right now. This family is out of money. Alright, that's the first time I'm hearing about this problem. It's a newcomer family. Monthly income is 4, their land tax is at 3. Why are they out of money? Is it a general problem? Okay, we got some very rich over here. This is kind of like the rich row. the wealthy row, because all of them are rich. These guys here are all poor though, and part of the reason is definitely because they just moved in. At least these people are new. Financial help. Okay, I can give them some coin. We'll just see how they do with that. Perhaps the taxes are too high. Now, I've always wondered what the councillor position would do at the town hall, so let's get one in. And, oh, it's a woman, okay. Councillor Larisa, and perhaps she's just helping out now, increasing efficiency or something. Or she's just there to, you know, have another employed person. Since we can postpone producing more iron, since we can just import it right now with some coin, it's actually not that expensive. What I would like to do is, since we're growing rather quickly, or I want to grow quickly, is that we build a second farm, right? Because this farm over there is fine, but we have space, and I'd rather build another farm before I'm running out of food. So we're gonna get another farm going here. I think this is an optimal spot. It's far away. It's on the other side of the village. We could have another one here, of course, and add more fields then in this forest. Should we do it like that, or should we have have a farm over there? I think I would like to have a farm here, honestly, because I think spreading it out makes sense. So I'm gonna have a farm set up, and I'm probably gonna have it like that. Right, and then we can add the fields around it again. For more potatoes, but especially also wheat, because we want to also start a flour production at some point, so that we can have also bread and everything that comes with it, right? Because we have a whole bunch of productions that I haven't used yet. Also, more animals means I need more, well, hay and, yeah, wheat in general. I do have this hay dryer here. I'm not entirely sure though, so the hay output is 400, and it's not a mowing season right now. So laborers or cowshed workers will mow nearby grass and leave it for drying to produce hay, and it's used for food as for animals in winter. And it's May through September, okay? So it's just using the grass nearby, right? Having one here works. I could have more spread throughout my village. That's the hay dryer. Hay dryer number 2, some over there, right? And perhaps also over here. Spreading it out a bit in my farm area. The next village house comes along. So the farm is still a long way off, right? I can always just queue in other buildings. We don't need that farm right now, but I think it would be sensible. Also, we could have a flax production for better clothing then. Messenger arrived. Oh, I mean, we do have 230 clothes. That's not a lot. It even feels like we're stagnating on the cloth a bit. Let's sell 100 for a bit of coin. But that's it. Potato-wise, we do have 1,600 potatoes. I'm not going to sell that. That's it, right? We could buy animals, but that's it. Yeah, it was a nice export. But what I can see is even without the export, look at that. We made a profit, right? Then 180 in export, even if we deduct that, we made more money out of taxes and selling at the local market than we had to pay. I was looking with that family, by the way. Ooh, they've increased their wealth from 5 to 10. So they're making something out of their life, right? Depends on where they're working, of course. They increase their wages with that. Beautiful. And the rich, by the way, they stay rich. So they even increase their wealth despite the wealth tax. It also means that taxation there is just right. Another village house comes close. This is already, yep, someone moved in already, 64. And right now everything is ready for more migration. Honey is something I'm not storing at the moment. And I think, oh, wait a second, where's my granary? There's my granary. It's something we should store because it's something that you can have in huge quantity and you can also sell nicely. So I'm gonna put honey now into the granary. And we still need... I mean, I don't need to sell honey because everyone has it, right? Honey is something that... 600 honey here, 900 honey on this house. You know, so the newer houses don't have that much, but they still have it too. But honey seems to be something you can have in huge quantity. Next family moves in. Yeah, and it's good that you start with a basic wealth, because you need to tax, or you need to pay taxes right away. Comes a privilege with living in this town. Having 2 fishermen is also nice, because it doubles my fish income. Another trader. I mean, it's beginning of the year, you know, everything related to crops is probably not gonna do it. We also never have textiles. That worries me a bit. Another thing I would like to have is a stone mining camp now. For this we can produce then stone, as it is required then for something like a smeltery, right? And any kind of building that is above the basic stuff. So that requires stone. And yeah, we can have a stone mining camp to get some stone going, and perhaps also sell it, but at least store it. And there's a lot of stone over here, right? So that's all stone. And this is an endless stone deposit, so we can use all of this. Let's have it. The thing is, uneven terrain. I mean, this doesn't look so uneven to me. You know, like this is not uneven, okay? I cannot build this one here. Why? Oh, there I can build it. This is too uneven then for the stone mining camp. I mean, it's not a big deal. They will just have to walk a bit. Strangest thing. Here? Oh, I could have it here. Okay, this would make sense, right? We would store the stone then right here and deliver it whenever we need it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this and have our little stone mining camp right here where we have the stone. And there's also the iron then over there, and for the iron we can build an iron ore mine. You need to build this right on top of the deposit, and in this case this would be possible then, but for later. Right now we're still working on importing iron. That still works for us, right? Got plenty of that. Get a message here, not enough food variety. Right, they don't have any food stored at all. Interesting. Maybe we have fish in, you can buy that at the market. We do have the cabbage, the chicken eggs. Anything else here? Carrots. Yeah, you can sell some carrots here. For those that are not able to get carrots out of their gardens, might be something. But I think we're gonna need another market stall soon. Field-wise, look at that. Working fantastically right now. And the chicken coop is also working. How many chickens do we have, by the way? Can I see this? 14. Alright. They're not growing so quickly. Not like in Manor Lords, for example, where you double your chicken population every year. Oh, nice! The hay dryer also has the hay now. So here, we have now the fodder for winter for my chickens then. So I don't need to consume wheat all the time. How's it looking with that well? Ooh, yeah. We need another well as well. Pun intended. Let's have it here. Have it like this. And I'm gonna put this one to the front, as we should not run out of water. I have 3 wells with that. Will we have another one? I think 3 should be fine then. We consume a lot of water for the animals. Okay, we're making serious money right now. 1,600. Okay, 900 over 600 expenses. That's a new record by far. And yeah, export is still doing fine, but it's not the reason. So in this case, I guess we could afford importing animals soon, more animals. And I would like to do this because I want to make more food and more variety for my people. I think a cow shed, that would be great for some beautiful steaks and also milk production. So that is something we can work on, I guess. There's also the dairy then that produces butter, cheese from milk, right? So this just adds more food variety then. An orchard is also something on my list. Ooh, so many options right now. Let's start with the orchard, as a matter of fact. We don't have fruits at the moment at all. And yeah, I think it's fine to just remove some trees here. Why not? Could have the orchard then right here. At the end of my fields, right? So having it like this. Do we need... Can customize the building. We can increase this. Yeah. Oh, it's too long. Okay. This is too long then after a while. Okay, this is too long. This is already the maximum you can go for. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we can also move the building within the orchard. There you go. Okay, let's build the orchard here. It's relatively cheap, so I would like to have another one right away. Probably, probably over here somewhere? Or here? Let's have it here and cut some trees. As I really want to add more food variety. So this is two more major productions. I'm gonna put them up there to the front. Coal mining camp, orchards, village house. Right, and with that hopefully we get more food in as well. So far so good. This game is way more complex than it looks at first. And I feel we are still at the beginning of this village. Kinda like. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to leave a like behind. And if you want to support the channel, don't forget to also support me on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching for Ostriv, and we may continue onwards then in the next episode. Stay tuned. Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Ostriv. How very good of you joined, and stick around. Let's continue right away with orchards. Hopefully we are gonna be able to get these orchards going. It's a lot of wood again and some nails. In this case we still have 1,000 nails left, and for some reasons I don't see my iron storage anymore. The reason for that is that the iron is being stored in the smithy, and if a product is stored in a local storage like the smithy, you can't see that. So this is a bit confusing. Of course, we have way more resources than are being shown here. So that's something to take into consideration. Now we are building orchard number 1 and then orchard number 2. Both of them require though the relocation of trees. And here we can now see how long this actually takes. Right? So that's a lot of trees. All of them need to be felled and transported away, which just takes a very long time. I can increase my job positions for the forestry further so that we have enough people that do the job. I think the construction workers also do this. 6 more trees are left. So we can see I'm probably not gonna be able to do this so often. Removing trees. Over here it would even be 8 trees. So let's delete that construction site again and relocate the fruit orchard to another location. Harvest wise, we're gonna get a lot of wheat this year. 2 times even. This one here though is very late, right? So it's August, this is still ripening. So we probably didn't have enough workforce for this, or not enough helpers. That could also be a problem. Don't have any housing left. These 2 villages we built, immediately 2 families moved in. So we got 76 people now in my town. And looking for jobs, 0. Fantastic. This is how it should be. Another issue comes up. This family lacks clothing. We do have some clothes still left, 130. But once again, I think, yeah, it's the local storage here of the tailor workshop. So do I need to get the clothes then over to one of my warehouses? Yeah, probably. Get it up there. I mean, we're selling the clothes then on the market. No, we're not. This could also be a problem. Can you sell it on the market? You can. So we do need to have another market stall, right? And where should we have this one though? As I of course want to get this into an orderly fashion. We're probably not going to have the market here, right? So we're probably going to make it in the middle somewhere, so that we have a nice meeting point in front of the town hall. There's going to be a building here, there's going to be a building here, around all of that. So the campfire we can keep, and let's just have a market here by the campfire then, and start a new market area then as well with that here. They're finished instantly, and we put clothes now into this market. There it is. Product number 1. We could also say... I usually like to have firewood in because you need a lot of that and everybody buys firewood. Potatoes is also something that is being sold quite often. We are running low on potatoes though, so I'm not gonna do that. And no, I think that's it for now. Yeah, nothing else that comes to my mind here. By the way, my construction workers continue having the stone mining camp finished though. First, because we're still waiting for the trees to be removed. 5 more trees left. So this is being done by the foresters as expected. And this one here is done by the construction workers right away. And there it is finished. Now the stone mining camp also needs a dedicated cart. So we're ordering this right away. And we're gonna get 2 workers in that will start producing stone from the stone deposits here. Can't hurt to have a healthy stockpile of this already running. Housing wise, I would like to continue with more houses. Probably over there. And we could also be thinking about closing this area then, right? So I think we have then everything for the main buildings, kind of like. And I mean, at some point we just have to get more buildings going somewhere here. Let's start over there. As a matter of fact, here, I think this would be a healthy approach with 2 more houses here. And of course, it's just going to be garden houses for the moment still, because I really can't think of any other building type. This one is completely unproductive, the village housing, but of course we could squeeze in a lot of them. And the next tier is already then the brick houses, right? And I don't have bricks. Still a long way off for me to have bricks. A trader, that's always great. I'm still completely out of textiles. We have nothing to sell, as a matter of fact, for the moment. This worries me a bit, but we're still making a profit out of my village, right? Even without exports. Oh, by the way, import here in the expenses also comes in. That was the chickens that we bought. Very good. The cart has already been finished. We have a very dedicated team of cartwrights finishing carts instantly. We have 2 there right now. They're also responsible for repairing, of course, so I'm still gonna keep 2 of them here. But this is just taking so long. Okay, there's my forester coming. That's another tree gone. Kind of like regret it, of course, but I'm not gonna abandon it now. So we're so close, I guess. All the resources are already in, you know, so there's just nothing else that needs to be done. The resources are already there, and once the trees are gone, construction can begin immediately. Nevertheless, let's have another fruit orchard somewhere over there, and this one's not gonna have any trees removed. It's close here. You can't build anything on the riverbanks here anyway because the terrain is too steep, but for an orchard it works, right? So I would like to have this orchard that's somewhere here at the end of my city, and let's go ahead and get a fence then over to this so people don't aimlessly walk around here. So they're using this path here, right? This path that gets longer than into this area. Otherwise, we're gonna create new paths over there, and that is something I would not like. We got another house finished. Great stuff over here. So there's another family, hopefully soon. Lots of wheat, way more wheat than what we need. So we can also consider building a windmill. And with that, we would have then the ability to, yeah, have flowers, right? A flower. The windmill cannot be rotated. Why not? Oh, because it's rotating on itself. Yeah. So we just need to have it somewhere where we have a bit of space. And I think this would be a great location here. By the fields. Let's get the windmill going then as well. Okay, come on. One more tree. Had a nice sunflower harvest, so it would be sensible to sell 1,000 sunflower. And do we have chicken eggs? We have 22 chicken eggs. That's not enough, especially since chicken eggs are really cheap. Flax. There should be a flax harvest coming in soon, but that hasn't happened yet, so I'm not gonna sell any of that. We could buy some more chickens, by the way. It's relatively cheap. Let's buy another 5 chicken. Because we still have room here, right? So there is 14 chicken right now. The more chickens, the more eggs. I love how they're headbanging all day. Who would have thought that it happens in my lifetime? The orchard has been finished. And we can now select the trees that we want to have here. Of course, I'm going to go with apple trees first. And then we need workers. Pretty sure it's female again. But we're going to set it to both. Because I really would like to get my apples. Gradual harvesting will only harvest if less than 100 units stored. Let's not have this one now. We can also make dried fruit out of the apples then at some point. But for now, I think I'm just going to go with apples. 80 people. Hooray. Another milestone. We also need a hay barrack. Because right now we're producing hay. But it's just then, you know, lying around here on the hay dryer. Which of course is not ideal. So these buildings are relatively cheap. And since we're going to get more animals going, I think here would be a great location for this somewhere. Let's have our haystacks then, yeah, stored by that farm. The next orchard has been finished. Here we could go with the apricot or the cherries now. Let's go with cherries. And, I mean, you cannot have a mixed one. So this is just for cherries now. And let's have 3 workers again. And the other orchard, I'm also having 3. But since most people are still busy with the harvest, I guess this might still take some time. By the way, clothes are being sold now at this market here. So there's already clothes being sold this year. And also, those people are happy now, right? Food variety is now the next problem again from time to time. But I'm working on this already. Flour and apples next year, hopefully. I wonder why here we get 3 women right away and here none. There it is, the big hay barrack where we can store something, and around that we're gonna have more animals. So the next building is of course a cow shed. And here we can have then cows roaming. I think we're gonna need a pasture then somewhere. Next messenger would have some cows now, and I don't know, they're super expensive. So if I go for 200 cows or 5 cows, let's go with 6 cows, right? That's 240. And the cow shed is being finished right now, and the hay we also have. So let's make a deal. By the way, I love that image with the city in the background, or the village. Hooray! There it is, our cow shed. And let's get workers in right away. Oh, you can also have a manager. Feed reserves less than a month for water reserves and the livestock. And there's the pastures now, as expected. And let's just have the pasture then. I don't know how big that needs to be. Good. Yeah, I'm not gonna close it off though. Like that, right? And now we have the pasture here for the cows. And there's the orchard, and there's a path then, just in case at some point we're gonna need get rid of those trees for that space. We can also say now use fallow fields if available. So they're getting the bulls then over the cows. And yeah, they can then fertilize my fields. Family's moving out. Lack of shoes. What? Do we have shoes? Can we buy shoes somewhere? No. I don't have leather at the moment. Another family lacks money. We'll just see. Might also need to work on my finances. But most people look fine. Yeah. Just occasionally someone. The wealthy also stay wealthy. Yep. No problem on that front. Now we just wait for the cows to arrive. At this very moment. That was on time. Is he getting... I think he delivers it then right to the cowshed. Right? Another family settles in right away, so no big deal for the moment. A bit of water we lack now too. Is that... I don't know. There looks to be lots of water in, but I'm gonna build another well over there. The town center looks a bit chaotic right now, of course, but it should even out then. We could, of course, make this decoration here so we just have the entry points. This is really just to get some order in the pathing, right? Because I'm not a big fan of all these paths then. And here, right, so that we have this town center kind of cut off. Ah, there they are. There are the cows. And yep, they need the hay now, the water. There's lots of hay now in the big hay barracks, so we're gonna of course get more in. And it's the 6 cows now. And yeah, I guess they will start producing milk for us very soon. Get rid of this again, by the way, because I wanted to get my windmill a bit further over here, right? Not that. That looks a bit cramped, so I would like to have it over here. And we're gonna get the additional haystacks because they're super labor easy, you know, so these hay dryers. I would like to have a few more wherever we have some grass. And we have another one here. That would be possible. And probably... because I certainly don't want to run out of hay ever, right? Those cows are expensive. And I don't want to pay the price again. And that's really working out. The cows are now on the fallow fields. Fertilizing them. And milk is already in. That was very fast. 50 milk we have. I think at my granary. I do have some slots left. Let's go ahead and get the milk in. There it is. By the way, we also have now honey. We're purchasing that from the local producers. 1,000 honey that we can then, for example, sell. And one of my markets now will also have then milk. That is something. Of course, we could also then process that into, let's say, cheese or butter. But we're just going to wait on that. Because right now, I'm just happy that we have a new type of food in town. People should be happy about that. Another very complex product or construction being finished over here right now. And that's our windmill. Go. Why does it have so many holes? Let's get a worker inside, and we have 1,600 wheat still being stored in my farm, and we can now make flour out of that. Now, I haven't found another production past flour, like a bakery or something. That's just not there. So my guess is that they're just using the flour and make their own bread with that. Getting confirmed by that, I think, because we can sell flour at the market. So we're gonna queue this one in. And flour is also gonna be then one of the, or probably the last good that we can have now at my granary. We can also check out what we don't have here, like chicken eggs we don't have, and potatoes. There was no potato harvest last year. With only 6 fields, you're pretty limited because we also need to have a constant hemp production. There's going to be potatoes here. This is fallow. So a second farm really is, I think, required at some point now. I just realized you can actually buy from local producers the honey at the trading post, so you don't need to have the honey stored in the granary with that. At least I think I don't need to do this, so let's get rid of it again. Since honey is so abundant everywhere. More and more children are being born. We could use this to get more housing again. I'm also considering a school at some point soon, but I think for school we don't have the... we just don't have the personnel yet. Let's get the next village house in here, and then we should be able to squeeze in another one here. Fantastic, and then we have a road in between again. By the way, don't take this square area here for fixed yet. I'm just doing this to clean up the pathing here a bit. We're gonna make a nice medieval square there at some point, you know, so like a bit chaotic perhaps and circular even around a center. But right now I just wanna get some order into this one. Not gonna stay square. Okay, we are getting the first flower out. And I'm gonna be very curious what happens with the flower now. So it's being delivered, as we can see, to her home right away. She took it. She took it and is getting it right away now to her home. And also there's some flour in the granary. And she's getting it. There it is. Okay, she was not taking it home. She was getting it to the market. And it is being stored at the market now. And people buy the flour, as we can see, already. It's going down. It's reserved already. Someone is buying it. Right? There you go. Selling flour now at the market. Milk, flour, clothing. A good variety so far, I think. Let's have the next farm going. I'm gonna go over here, as a matter of fact, because we have plenty of space here. Also, it's closer to where we process everything. If we have it on the other side of town, we always need to go through the whole town with all the materials. So let's just have it here with the materials that we need. And I still have, well, close to 1,000 nails. So we're still fine on that front. I wonder when we get the first harvest out of the orchards. So the trees must be at least 2 years old. Oh no. And the maximum yield is reached on 5 years age. Okay. So this will still take some time for both of them. So the newcomers unfortunately do have that food variety problem over there. I guess it's because they're pretty far away from everything, right? So we probably will need to move the market stalls a bit closer. And for that, we have already this campfire marketplace here. And let's just add, I think, another one here. Can we have them as close as that? There you go. Right, so that we have some type of food, like we have fish, I guess. Fish is something I don't have on the market next to it. So this would be something. And we have the flour, the milk on this one. Already the firewood as well. So I guess potato might be another thing. Get a worker in here, by the way. And, chicken meat, we don't have that yet at all. So this might be something for the future to keep in mind. Other than that, I guess we could, or have to, look at the granary. Because here we buy stuff like buckwheat. And that's it. We don't have any cabbage anymore, despite trying to buy it. The same goes with carrots. I guess my demand outweighs now my production for these. But buckwheat is something I can provide. So that's another good on this market. Someone is taking up the job already. So hopefully with that we can add a bit more variety to this. I guess these guys here will move out now because I'm not providing them with the shoes. Perhaps I can buy shoes from someone, but no one is buying or selling shoes. They also have a demand for shoes. Yeah, I could buy some leather, but it will not be on time, right? But we can still do this. I mean, I have some coin. 200 leather is only 50, right? And I could try and get a shoe worker going. There it is, from leather. So it's a very simple production. And let's just see where we can squeeze it in. Perhaps right here next to the trader, right? This would make sense here, I guess, because, you know, there is nothing really unblocking except some fuller windows or so. Or somewhere else. Yeah, I guess this is also a nice spot here to have it, right? Get the shoemaker going because I want to have those shoes so that we don't lose families all the time. Like, this is a high wealth family that will be moving out now, and I really don't like that. So it would make sense for the cow sheds to produce leather, but I can't find any entry for this. The tannery is doing it, so produces leather. The problem is you need bark, lime, salt, and water for this production. So this is a very complex production. I just don't have the workforce for all of this yet. That farm has been finished. And we can now add, of course, the fields once again to this area. Here's the exit, of course. So we're going to have probably just around it. I guess you don't need to worry about any kind of elevation problem here. Just behind it, we're going to add the first one. Second one, and have a bigger one here then again, just along the trees there. Perhaps a smaller farm somewhere here. Ooh, too short. Wait a second. Now it's not too short again? Okay. This is too short, but making it shorter works. Guess it's because of that area up there. Here we would need to remove 2 trees. I'm fine with that. Then I'm gonna add another one probably here. With that we have 5 fields. 1 more just along the road here. Right, so that we have it. And in this case, we can have another farm here if we want to. And here's the path already. There's going to be the mine. And here's going to be then our mining. So this should work out. We can... Oh, wait a second. You know what? Let's actually keep a bit of space here. I think this is too tight. I'm going to add a field here. So that we have the 4 fields here. And then 2 smaller ones here. Right? And I'm immediately going to... get the workers plus a manager, because I don't want to do this myself again all the time. And then we basically activate them, and we start with potatoes on this one. Definitely some wheat on that one, because I want to continue now with the flour production. So we have 2 wheat fields here. And you know what? Let's actually not have a manager for now and just make this very simple. So I'm gonna add the wheat here on this field. Oh, okay. I cannot even say fallow if I don't have a manager. Okay, so we need to activate and deactivate it all the time right now. Then we're gonna say potato here and hemp here. Gonna take some time. We don't have enough workforce at the moment. I would also like to have some more houses. So here we still have some spot on the way to the orchard. Cutting, of course, through that street, but that is okay, because that street will just disappear. And I would like to have another one then just... And by the way, another thing we can do, and that is we can add these village houses, right? And we can increase their yard, like so. I haven't done this yet, but of course it's something that makes sense, I guess, for bigger plots like this one. So it has then its entrance here, right? And then it has some fields here as well. So I guess this can make a lot of sense. And I would like to add some of these bigger homesteads this way, right? Especially here a bit further outside, to get some gardens going and stuff like that. And perhaps an isolated one over there, since we're not gonna have any farm here at the moment. Might also just have this one with... there's a pretty steep limit though, so you cannot just endlessly make this one. But it's still a massive one, right? So here. There you go. They will start producing a lot of food then for us. Shoemaker has been finished already. Let's assign workers to this. The ladder should be in. There it is. So this family hasn't moved out yet. So perhaps we can still make it up. And then I'm gonna provide the shoes on this market here. Very nice. Shoe production is up and running. Hurry up. By the way, this is a cute spot here. So I could also think about adding some trees. Right, some decorations. And perhaps some benches here. Especially trees are very important, I think. Otherwise, everything looks just very empty. And the maple trees, because we have a lot of pine trees in the surrounding area. So I would like to have some different trees. And look at that, we have this tiny spot in the center. I think this would look great. Adding some decorations here and there. The market area. The town hall already has some decoration. Here we're still going to add some buildings, so I'm not going to add decorations yet. But here, for example, this looks pretty much complete to me. So I would also like to add some decorations, some benches perhaps. But this is actually a smaller park, you know, like we have the benches here, a well, some trees then, some bushes in between. And you can even have a gazebo. Now that's cool. Okay, I don't have a specific location for this yet. But we might have it over there. Oh, that even costs you... What? 5,000 wood and nails? No, I'm gonna delete that again. Just for pure decorations, this is not gonna be worth it. But I could have some birdhouses then. In addition, so somewhere here, for example. Smaller decoration. And of course in my park area. Over here and over. Yeah, tiny park. I love this. And people actually also go there and sit. The trees take a long time though. Because you need to build them first or plant them first, and then it takes them time to grow. Like here with the town hall, they're fully grown now. So, you know, this is working out. But it takes quite some time for this. Alright, shoes. We got 150 shoes. Fantastic. And they're ready to be sold. So come on, get the shoes. You want them. They're ready. Oh, they're already reserved. Perfect. I hope this rich family here doesn't move out. I don't want to lose a rich family. This farm has a manager. Fantastic. So we can make some basic rotation now. You know, like this. Having the wheat and having then the potatoes. I mean, we can also make it here, of course, happen. And hemp. Potatoes. I guess I'm going to do the same rotation as here and just look out that we have, you know, basic stuff happening. So it's fallow. And then it's potatoes. And then it's fallow again. And here we have the wheat, fallow. I think I'm going to do double wheat on this one. Together with the fallow. This is potato and fallow all the time. This one here is gonna have hemp and fallow. This is hemp in a different year. Is flax a different nutrition? Nah, unfortunately not. It's the same. But hemp is primarily blue. So if I go with, let's say, potato, it's primarily red and green. So we can probably have them both together. And then a fallow year. And the same applies on the other field. Just vice versa. Potatoes are super important, so I want to make sure that we have them every year. I could also start with some basic flax. We already have the building that processes flax, so this might make sense. Let's also have it here and then fallow. By the way, we need to activate this still. Alright, so that's a second farm. I like it how elevated it is. So if you live in Austria like me, you have these farms on hills everywhere. And this just fits. The road still looks a bit chaotic. So here we can make, of course, a smaller decoration going away from probably this one. Yeah, there's the iron mine then. But you can probably make it like so. Cut it off for the moment and then here. Right, so that we get a dedicated path that forms in this area then over time. The iron mine is something I don't need right now. The next village house has been finished. So it should only be a matter of a few more seconds. We have everything ready for this. To have another family move in. And with that we reached 100 people living in this town now in Ostriv. What? Actually a great game this is. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to a tiny community growing in the middle of nowhere, probably in the Ukrainian flatlands, and in this case we continue onwards, of course, with our town center right away. So in the last episode we kind of like formed this area around this here, right? And it's this ugly square block that we have, and I don't think that it looks that fantastic. So we're building some village houses right now. We have reached 100 villagers, and also money-wise it's looking fine. I would like to provide some education for my peeps. That is, is cool. And that's cool. Well, we can now add into this center. Where should we have it though? I could have it here. This would be probably a nice location. Or we could have it here. There's a bit more room here for also some, you know, green area than some playground perhaps for kids. So I think I would like to go ahead with that area here right away and place us that school. The school is not that expensive. 20,000 wood. Right, 400 nails and 400 clay. Wood and clay we have in endless supply. Nails 400. Yeah, we have 900 nails right now. This is gonna work out. It's gonna take some time, of course. And this provides an education for the kids, and with that also should yield me some productivity boost. Well, long-term wise, this definitely adds up. Now we do have also this chicken coop over here, and I can't see how many chickens we really have. Outside of raising the numbers of relocations. So I cannot see how many. I mean, we could count them, but I'm not going to do this. There is no overlay of how many livestock I have. Oh, there it is. Current 24. Look at that. Livestock limit 24. All right. So they're not growing so quickly, unfortunately, right? Most of them I bought. So I think around 4 were growing in. That means we're gonna reach the limit here soon. So another chicken coop is also something I would like to have, since we do have a huge demand for eggs, and I think it just feels nice to have more. We have the animal barn over there, so let's have the chicken coop number 2 as well then here. And by the way, I'm gonna probably not have them look towards the road. Right here. We have this nice road that formed along this line, so that is something we can work out. By the way, some of you have been commenting if I'm blocking my forester from the forest by adding this fence. And I mean, blocking, you know, it's not as direct as before. We can get rid of this fence here to speed things up, right? So the forester goes out here now. We could also make a tiny gate here, but I think let's just keep it like that. We will need to relocate the logging camp soon anyway, so that's basically another thing we need to do here. Yeah, it's winter again in year 5, so another year successfully survived. Lots of harvestees coming in, and this field is still waiting for workers, so we still haven't really provided more workforce. I'm looking forward to this village house here being finished as we continue to grow now towards the lake or the river down there. There it is, another house finished. I like how the houses all look a bit different. You know, it's still the same assets, of course, but if you look closely, you know, the roof has a different shape, the entrance has a different shape, there's different types of windows, or a nice contrast here that the owner set in, you know, this wooden facade that we have. So this is also nice details there overall. Another trader. We are making a slight amount of money. Buckwheat. We can sell 1,000. Yes, that is another 100 coin that we can go ahead with. Charcoal. It's not in my storage because it's always just sitting around at the fire pit, so I'm not gonna see any of that. And chicken eggs, it's not in here as... Oh, there it is, 11. That's not enough to sell. What I would like to buy though is some iron again, right? So let's take another 400 iron. It's ridiculously cheap, all things considered. It's absolutely not worth it making an iron industry, I think, because for 50 coin I can get 400. There's no need for any iron mining for the moment. Yeah, we got 50 more iron left, plenty. So since it's winter, we are taking the hay right now out of the hay barrack and putting them into my cow shed then here. So that is what we have, right? The hay. And this one would last us for another 4 months. And the same goes with the chickens. So here we have the feed reserves less than a month. Here it only takes wheat, but we have lots of wheat also still in stock. But I think it should also be the hay, right? For the chickens. Stone mining wise, I think we can get rid of the workers here for now. We got 2,000 stone in my camp, so that's plenty. Finally, our next village house. This one is the new one, alright? So this one is one with an adjusted plot land. So it's producing way more crops or, well, vegetables and stuff like that. This family is running out of money. I don't understand why. Monthly income is at 4, land tax is at set to 6. And yeah, of course they pay quite a bit for their goods, you know, so let's give them something. It's only one family though after every couple of months, so for now I'm just gonna, you know, give them some money again. We're still making a lot of coin out of my taxes, so I would rather keep it that way. Now, hopefully someone moves in here fast. Oh, and look at that. We have a new demand. Need at least one chapel for 100 population. So with the 100 threshold, we have a new demand, and that's a chapel. Let's have a look at that. We have a couple of options here. The biggest one is the wooden church. That is though a bit too expensive for my taste right now, especially on the nails. So a small chapel or a wooden bell tower. Let's go with a small chapel. Should do it just fine. And yeah, where do we have it? I'm probably gonna just get it in here somewhere. Here in this corner, beside the church, beside my school. We could have it. We could have it here, but that's really far away from everything. You know what? I don't care. Let's have the small chapel here, and we probably will replace it then with a big church or something like that at some point. Get this going. And let's actually put it up to the front. I want to finish this one quickly, and it's really very, very cheap. So it should be happening quickly. It comes with its own smaller plots, burial plots that you can add. So perhaps here in the back. Ooh, okay. Like this. Or like this. Why not? Let's add a bunch of them. Like this. So there we have some burial plots now. And probably also add some trees to that. Like here and here. A little cemetery surrounded by a fence. Why not? This works out. Also another messenger comes in, someone that would like to buy something. Sunflower is something we usually have, but we only have 600 left. We're selling a lot of them right now to my population. Flour is also too low. Yeah, metal parts. That would be something. We got 14 metal parts. They're actually worth something, but we only have 14. Once again, not something I can do. Getting some live chicken though is something I would like to do. So let's get another 10 chicken in for 120 coin. That's gonna be worth it, as I do want to raise my chicken there. And let's also get the chicken coop here to the front. So the moment the chapel is finished, which is happening now, there it is, a small chapel for people to pray. There's going to be some pathing issues here again, so I'm going to get my fence going. So let's add some fences to this. You really need to... Oh, God. Really, you can't snap it to the building, and they use this spot there now as an entrance. I guess I'm gonna make it like so. And then also... for the cemetery. Can't snap it. This looks strange, but it should solve the pathing issue for now, as I don't want to have 4 different paths going into the chapel there. So this is the only way I can see how this works. Another one up to this point here. Alright. There's gonna be something bigger here anyway, and then we can get rid of the fence again. The family moves in since we have the religious needs now satisfied again. And another financial help. Let's give it to them. Family moved in here, right? Yes, there it is, 112. And they're working now all of this. There they're coming. Welcome to town. You find the info brochure at town hall. There it is, chicken coop number 2 activated. And let's assign those women to it. By the way, yes, also this farm now has all the workforce they need. So I'm expecting some proper farming here this year. Another thing that we need to plan, of course, is my cow sheds. Right now we got 6 cows and they're now ripe. They're fertile. The problem is I'm missing an ox still. So we have the cows and we need an ox to, yeah, get going. And I'm waiting for a trader on this. I could send out a messenger again. but I think I'd rather wait for a trader. So when this happens, we should be getting in. Optimize bulls livestock. Okay, slaughter bulls if more than 3 are present. That is fortunately not an option we have right now. There is already a messenger. A cow. Okay. Can we... I mean... There's only cows. I don't think I've ever seen ox. Ah, it's in the list here. Okay, I would like to get 1 ox. And while we're at it, let's also get 2 more cows. And make a deal. They're coming over now. Fantastic. The next village house is finished. It's this one here. It's another big plot outside of my village. Right, this looks horrible though. Right? We will need to do something about it. But for now, that's that. And look at that. This house, yeah, they really want to use it. Their plot. That's going to be a massive farm over there. And also a family moved in now here. Fantastic. It's an outsider family again. We're growing to 117. Oh, it's very poor families joining. Oh, okay. And this is also something. Look at their land tax. Very interesting. So the land tax here is 7.5 because of the size of their village house. So they should hopefully make a lot of coin. I'm going to give them some financial aid to start off. I don't want to go them into bankruptcy. This guy here pays 9 land tax. It's crazy. Gives them some coin. And of course, they should also get way more money in because they're, you know, getting that much crop out. In this case, I need to go for my granary. And we're going to start buy from the locals, the carrots, the cabbage. So this is all the stuff that they overproduce then. And they will earn money with that. So that we have this smaller local economy as well between the people. You know, so only if I'm buying something from them, do they also get their additional income here. So it's the carrots mostly. Onions might be something. We'll just see what they produce. There's now the church, the school coming along. Still requires lots of resources. And we have a path here forming now with the chapel, as expected. And then one here. We might even make this one into a nice church plot then here, right? As it is forming already in this corner. I'm also now relocating 10 chicken from this chicken coop here, which is full, to this chicken coop here. There should be soon 10 chicken roaming around. Ah, there they are, right? Yeah, there they are. In a little cage even. Very nice. Head banging all day for all those juicy eggs. Now my cows are in. Look at that. And use fallow fields. So they're still all over here now. One of them is the ox. So I'm going to put the ox into protection now. And the ox will hopefully make sure that we're going to get some new baby cows soon. Some calves out of this herd. Can we see it? Not here. Looking out for some horns. There it is. That's our ox. Another issue I'm facing is that my 4 carts are not enough anymore. Right, so first of all, they're getting repaired, of course. But we're getting a lot of error messages here now. No usable carts for delivery. So we need to add another one. We do have the car shed, the wagon shed, the car shed, and the cart parking. This one here has the best price ratio, right? Because this one here costs a lot in addition. This one only costs me 40 nails. So of course we're gonna use this one. And where should we add it? Should add it? Nah, this looks... Oh, this would actually be fine. We'll probably also have it over there instead of this fence. I think I'm gonna do this. There you go. And here we now have an additional 4 carts then. First we need to produce them, of course. That's the metal parts. So I'm thinking also of finding some metal parts again. But they're doing it already. Let's get another smith going, by the way, since we have quite the demand for these resources. That church takes time. It's in the front queue though right now. Yeah, as expected, their monthly income goes up. So especially those of the big family. This one not yet. But this one here is already earning 6.5. So that should only go up further the more they produce. And perhaps also if one of them gets a manager position. Right now they're only laborers though. That was just really fast. We got the cow. An additional one. The 9 cows it is now. Or was it actually? I think we had 9 cows already. Sorry. I'm still so hopeful for a number 10. I can't wait for it. Ooh, another trader. And, we only got 70 honey, but we have a lot of clothes, right? 490. We could sell some of them. Sell 200 for 50. That seems very low, you know, like 50 coin only. Nothing else though. Wheat. Nah. The wheat is also very cheap, so I'm not gonna do anything here. We could get some more leather. Let's do that. Both farms are fully working. It's June. So here we're gonna get a nice hemp, wheat, and potato harvest. And here we're gonna get wheat, hemp, and potatoes. Is it the biggest product or construction so far? I think it is. That's cool. Oof, still 1,700 wood they need to process. Now they're working on the roof. And there we have finished it. A primary school. Let's get a teacher on board. Probably going to be quite expensive. And children of age 10 to 15 years can apply for primary school. And the primary school gives the basic skills of literacy and numeracy required to apply for manager and counselor jobs. So these kids here, yeah, they're gonna go into high paying jobs. Teacher is there, Lesia, and the 4 kids we have already as well. Alright, the next car parking has been finished over here, and we can now order some carts. Let's make it full right away. 4 carts. That comes into the cart ride, waiting for some more metal parts now. And they're getting ordered then by the smithy. And by the way, the smithy is waiting for coal again. Don't have enough laborers. I will need to go for another charcoal kiln here for sure. It's taking too long. At number 3 here right away. Got plenty of firewood, just like the people. Let's also provide some more market stalls, and probably here. 2 more. Oh yeah, they're being finished instantly, right? Let's have another 2 then, or let's make 3. There you go. And here we can now basically go with the same stuff again. We can also, of course, check out what we have in stock the most. So definitely clothes. Definitely firewood. I think it's one of the best sellers that we have. And I might also go for the carrots for those that don't produce enough. I mean, I think this makes only the most sense when we have village houses without any plots. We'll just see. And some buckwheat. And this guy here goes with more milk. We have lots of milk at this point. Might also go for the cherries that we should have soon. Some chicken eggs. That would be then coming out of this orchard here. And do we really need 3 people? I don't think so. Let's get rid of 1 again. We can also check it up here. Anyone looking for jobs? No one right now. So we have too many. Not enough people anyway. Okay, year since planted is 1. Yeah, these orchards still take quite some time before they produce me anything. Shoes are full, by the way. We have 500 shoes. I'm not selling them, it seems. Oh yeah, we are selling them. But not many people can afford shoes. That's the reality. Clothes is also very low. Firewood is the highest. Milk and flour. Buckwheat. Potatoes and fish. Chicken eggs are also a bestseller. And anything else that I'm not selling yet? I mean, cheese we're not making. So this is something that we can absolutely expand to in the future. Might have another one that sells honey. We're not really full on anything, so that's a good thing here. Next village house has been finished. We continue to grow. And so harvest season is upon us once more. And both of my farms have rich harvests. Soon later, the first carts are also finished again, the new ones. This one's repaired. One is up for repairing right now, so my cart rides are rather busy. But we got a 5th cart now. Fantastic. Selling something? I mean, it's harvest season right now. I don't think we have sunflowers coming in. Nope, but wheat? We would have buckwheat. Nah, not really. Plus, it's not really worth that much. I would like to continue now. Getting more stone out of the stone mine here, because I would like to have another production, and that is the salt works. Reduces salt from underground brine deposits. Costs me quite a bit, as a matter of fact, but salt is extremely valuable, and we can also sell this to my population, but we can also sell it on the market or in trading, right? And as we can see, there's not a lot of salt, right? Down here we have some. Here we would have some salt here in this tiny area there. I could also have it here, right? We would need to remove some trees. Oh, instead of the sand here. Okay. Or we have it next to the sand. Let's have it next to the sand. Where's the front? This. Yeah, that's the front, right? And it's just here. This is gonna take quite some time, but I wanna get as much salt as possible into this building here. And I think that's that one. But this construction, one for the ages. And how many workers do we have? Okay, let's add another builder so we can speed things up. And as a matter of fact, I have one man looking for jobs. So that's right on time. Another family asking for financial help. Let's pay them. Quickly check out my taxes here. Okay. Importing was quite a lot. So this is where we had the tipping point. In local sales, we make a nice amount. I should probably export a bit more. We don't have a tavern yet. That might be something for additional income. The wealth tax is rather low, so I might reduce it a bit. Right. The same applies for the land tax and housing rent. Let's just reduce it a bit. It's Snowbound families. Once again, the wells are not enough. That was fast. Let's have another well down here. Not too close though, by the river, of course. And just gonna have this one here beside the main road. In this case here, so we still have room for something else than here. But that should provide that enough water for this whole area down the road. Alright, the harvest is fully in at this point. And oh yeah, that was a lot of wheat. So I'm gonna add another worker to my windmill because the harvest was just so good on this. And we should also have a lot of potatoes in again. 5,000. Nice. This also adds food variety, of course, and makes some market traders happy again. My cloth storage also continues to rise, especially with a nice hemp harvest this year. I'm considering selling some more. Let's go ahead and raise the level here a bit. 300. After all, we want to make money. Charcoal. Interesting that, we get 11,000 charcoals, so I'm gonna sell, let's say 3,000. That's 150 coin. For this, however, we need to add the charcoal here to my trader. And yeah, let's just make 4,000 so that we have something in stock. And let's also add some workers to this area because I absolutely want to make sure that we have those things. Sunflower, and I mean, sunflower, we have 1,000. So, oh, this is oil. Wheat, I mean, wheat we have also, what's 1,000? You cannot make it like that. It's so much wheat. Nah, let's process that into flour. It should be much more worth it. But honey we can definitely sell. Let's sell some 500 honey as well, since we have honey in stock. This is coming along nicely. So we're still waiting for some stone. 60 more stone, that's it. A beautiful building. Pretty massive there too. This is where my stone miner is working. He's the only one right now, which is fine. We don't need that much more stone. And they already delivered that over. And so they're working on this. The roof finally. Hooray! And we got the salt works going. Interestingly enough, this building has the entrances here way inside. And that should still be fine though. And here we can now get brine out, or salt, right? And oh, we can even have then animals here. Let's start with 2. And we'll just see how high production for this is. Just at the end of winter once more. Got enough stone. Let's get rid of my stone miner for now. Another financial help. It's still happening only every couple of months, so I'm still fine with it. My income is pretty nice, 1,100. That didn't take long, and we have the first brine stored. What I noticed is though is that we need an ox for this. Now, did I overlook this? It seems like it might... Nope, doesn't state it here. Could have the help though. Also doesn't state it here. So there's an ox required for this. I cannot undo this, right? So the ox is basically moved over. There's also no option for me to say no ox please. So the ox just has been used now from my herd. So the messenger from Balakia, we are importing another ox right now, and yeah, this ox hopefully gets then into my cow shed again. There it is, has arrived already. Fantastic. An ox is being replaced by a cow shed manager. Oh, the manager's doing it. Relocating the cows. He's also delivering the other ox now to the salt works. Okay, so it has something to do with this one. Now that is very strange though, because I don't want to relocate them. Because then I don't get baby cows anymore. Perhaps they're still doing it. It's strange that I have no say in this, so there is no option for me to relocate them, or to forbid relocation in general. Well, it is what it is for now. Let's build a construction shed. We still have our construction in the town center now, and with that we can have the workers then dedicated at a construction shed like this one here. Have it right next to the town center or the town hall, because there is a bit of space for it. And let's also continue building a few more market stalls. So we have this one going over here. With that, we should provide a lot of goods now to my people. Of course, we don't need to employ someone into that all the time. And there's still this camp storage there. Temporary storage. It's never been depleted. Make empty. Really make empty. And I got stuck here, and we do have this tent sitting around them. And by the way, I would also like to have something here in the middle. And what is going on with that camp fire though? Shouldn't have this disappeared as well. It's just sticking around. Okay, and gone it is. And with that we have this little square market area here in the center. We got the salt. Finally. So this is gonna be great. We will probably want to have the salt then stored right away. Yes, it's the granary. There it is. And let's just make this one into 2,000 salt, right? And then we can also use the salt, of course, to sell on the market. Let's just see if we have still a stall. Nah, all the stalls are full, so let's employ a new one. And this guy is now selling salt. Probably some cabbage. Yeah, we have cabbage stored. Milk is always a good one. And perhaps some flour? Actually, we don't have that much. But milk is okay. And honey. There's the salt already, and it's been reserved right away. Another building is finally the tavern. Let's get this one going. And with the tavern, we do have all the resources, and we do get a building then that also provides extra taxes. So we'll just see how much that's gonna be. Let's also continue providing some decorations. So here we do have our the benches. I haven't built that many benches yet. People love the benches, so we could have some benches here at the marketplace. By the way, we don't theoretically need these market stalls anymore. So that was chicken eggs, firewood, fish, basic stuff. Let's demolish this and empty. First, let's get rid of the workers. Then we need to make it empty and really make it empty. And make it empty and really make it empty. And here we're just going to assign the new workers to that with, yeah, chicken eggs, firewood. The basic goods, basically. Where are potatoes? They should be a bit further down here. There is it. And buckwheat on this one. And fish. There you go. So that we get rid of these here. They're already empty, right? There you go. New messenger. Let's just check it out. We do have, I think, a lot of shoes. We got 500 shoes. We might sell some shoes. They're actually also not that valuable, right? Still, let's get rid of 200. And if I get 200 leather, all right, that's interesting. Same price almost. Not really worth importing stuff, processing it, and then selling it, right? It's basically almost the same price for all of these. I'm not gonna sell any wheat. It's too important for that. The primary income right now is taxes anyway. So we're making a good amount here. I would love for this to get into to become a plaza, you know, like just a lot of trees. Didn't happen so far. So far so good. The town continues. We have a soap production up and running. We are working on a tavern now. And we continue onwards in the next episode with, yeah, sheep farming. Haven't even touched this one yet. Together with more export and probably also a proper church. Hope you enjoy this one. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Greetings everyone. Hello and welcome back to Ostriv once again to, yeah, our town center where we are about to build a tavern. I'm looking forward to this. Right now, we don't have a lot of builders. I'm going to open up some 2 more job positions so that we may finish this faster. We finished the construction shed, and in this case here, there would be now a parallel road, more or less, a parallel row of builders. So, you know, if the town hall is full of builders, the construction shed makes a lot of sense. I thought it would replace the town hall and make it perhaps more efficient. I don't know, you know, having a dedicated construction shed. But right now, I'd rather keep this empty as I certainly don't have the workforce. Let's help some poor family out there again that can't afford my taxation. And in this case, that's it already. We're looking really fine on the income, by the way. So I don't even need to trade and we are making coin. So that's 260 again this year. Without actually doing anything else. And I think we just continue with that. Whenever there's a merchant coming in, we can just sell the surplus we have. I would really like to ramp up my charcoal production, because charcoal you can sell quite often and for a nice price as well. So let's go ahead and get me some more of these kilns going. So I'm thinking about 1 more and this one here, right? So that we got 5 of them. And they just use automatic workforce whenever they have demand for this and whenever there's firewood. So firewood is something that we have a lot anyway. It's 11,000 right now. And in this case, we should be able to sell all of it. I would like to continue in the meantime by decorating a few more of my areas here, like the school area. In that case, with the school area, we have the fence going all the way over here. And then there's a path going right to the school. So these are the kids that come from this neighborhood, into the school, right? So we got lots of kids right now. And I would like to make an extension here of this fence by providing a bit of a garden area for the school, right? So something like that. So this path here should disappear again. And here I keep it open, or we also just go into this area for that to work out. And then we can just add something here along the line, a bell post at the edge of my fences. They're being built instantly, but the trees, for example, you need to plant, right? So the trees just don't appear right away. 2 ash trees, perhaps. And we got some apple trees here in the center. And I might even be thinking about, I think this costs me though. Yeah, it costs quite a lot of nails, especially. A gazebo or something like that might work. So let's get rid of this tree seedling again. There it is. A nice little gazebo. Right here for the kids, you know, to have some nice afternoon session out there. Another financial help. And there is already our tavern coming along. And by the way, the salt is also ramping up. So we have 600 salt right now in stock. Fantastic. This is something, of course, we want to sell at the market. And I think I haven't chosen one yet. Ah, there it is, salt. And salt, as you can see, whoa, it's in huge demand. So salt sells quite nicely. I'm considering opening up a new market store. So this row here is almost empty. Let's get another worker in here with salt as well. And some shoes, by the way, because we don't have a second one for shoes at the moment. Alright, shoes. He would like to purchase some shoes. We do have 500 shoes right now. That's actually the maximum I have at my storage. So if I sell 250 for 80, we are golden. And buckwheat and charcoal, there it is again. And we could sell, for example, 5,000 charcoal. Look at that, 250. It's just crazy how much money you can make out of that. The charcoal is in here. Gonna ramp it up to 6,000 now. And the shoes... Oh, the shoes are not in here. They're then in my warehouse. No, we don't have a storage for the shoes yet. Let's get rid of something here. I'm never selling textiles. So I'm gonna replace this one with shoes. And I would like to ramp it up to 1,000, right? So doubling my maximum storage right now for shoes. So we may sell more of them. Do we need that many workers here? I don't think so. Let's get rid of one. And that's an additional construction worker, for example. And the other thing, of course, is sunflower. Firewood I'm never selling because it's the charcoal. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose now also salt in here. Even though we have a pretty high demand for salt at my market. But I think production is quite nice on it. Another 300 salt. We'll just see if that is enough, right? Get some card messages here from time to time. We have the 4 cards here now and 4 cards here. They're all working. And most of them are ready to be used. I like this one, actually. Free parking area for your cards. Rent them out for free. And there it is. A central point for people to meet and drink, our tavern. And the tavern will start working when a tavernous family settles here. We need a... Oh, there's a requirement for a tavernous settlement though. 200 people. Okay. I'm gonna put this one on hold for now. And not enough alcohol on the local market. Okay, that is something we can fix easily. But 200 people, that's a bit more. I would love for these requirements to be shown here in the building menu right away, right? Otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense. So you need to click on the help button here, and then it tells you that you need to have at least 200 people in town for this to work. At least it's there. It's fine. We got 130. We can still add more houses now, of course. And I probably would like to have more here. And let's just get rid of this grid a bit, you know, so let's open it up a bit. Have 2 more houses than here. And another one here. Go. Gazebo for the school has been finished. It just needs some more trees. Apricot tree. Huh? And by the way, the same thing applies then, for example, for the wooden church. So if you click on that, it says that we need at least 300 people, and then a priest family will move in. And yeah, so this is something that's coming in a bit later. It's a relatively cheap construction considering how big it is, right? But it is something that we could add here if we more than double our current population. That would be a lot of construction. Another building we haven't, well, chosen yet is the pigsty. So this is a place for breeding pigs. We could already buy some pigs and get going on some meat production out of them. So that is something I would like to have. There's my animal husbandries here. So in this case, we could have either here right away in this corner. I think this would be a nice location for it. Just would like to have this look away a bit. Where's the entrance? Can't really see an entrance in this building. There's just the windows, so I guess it needs to, yeah, kind of like look like this. Alright, so it might work then. Get this one going as well. And another thing is the dairy. So it produces butter, cheese, and smetana from milk. And that is another building that I've been planning to get going. Especially since, you know, we have a lot of milk at this point. So those cows, they're just pushing it out. And yeah, let's go ahead and have a dairy. And I would like to have this one here then, somewhere. It's close to my cows. And I think it makes a lot of sense here. I would like to have this look a bit chaotic. You know, so like every smaller village out there in the countryside, at least also in Austria, looks rather chaotic when it comes to its, building positions. So we're just gonna try and make this one work a bit more like it. Alright, honey, buckwheat, shoes. There is shoes again. I think we have... The thing is, you cannot see your storage up here. Of items that you have in your trader. You know, so at my trader I can see I've got 400 shoes in here. Nice. I've got some salt now. We are full on salt. That was very fast. And clothes. We have close to 1,000 clothes as well. So I'm gonna ramp it up to 500 here so we can sell a bit more of them. The shoes, it is. That's another 200 shoes we can sell. Lots of charcoal. Yes, another 5,000. There you go. Nice deal. And then we can also sell some clothes. I would like to go ahead with 250. That's gonna be a lot of money, right? And we have those things in stock. All of them here. Nice. Salt? No, you're not buying salt. We could buy something from him. Pigs, for example. Pigs are relatively expensive, of course, but we still need to wait until we finish it. I might buy some iron again, just so that we have enough minutes. Come on. Yeah, let's go with 500. And that's it. Some more cows? I might also go for some more cows and some more bulls. Just one. By the way, another year comes to an end. And right at this moment, this year should be the first year where the orchard will be then working. By the way, let's get the pigsty up to the front here. Oh, let's finish the village house, then the pigsty, and then another village house, and then a dairy, so that we mix it up a bit. It always takes a bit of time for a family to move in, you know, so can't hurt to have some time in between. Okay, I'm expecting apples this year. Please. Of course, with the whole neighborhood coming out, we definitely should get another well going. So I'm gonna have also another well then just here, in this area. And by the way, this could be also a nice area for some basic decorations. So I'm considering this gazebo here. Right, and let's also have the fence then from this house then here, go over here. To block it from any kind of buildings we'll have then here. Actually, we could, yeah, queue them in already. Not this one though, it's this one. And we might make a bigger one out of that, honestly. So I'm gonna add it here, I think. Don't snap. This one. Oh, what was that? This one, right? And now I can basically take this one up there, this up here, and this one goes a bit further over. Nice. Then a gazebo, and then we have some more trees here. Of course, it's winter right now, so all of this looks rather bad. Some lilac bushes here. There you go. A little park then as well. And of course, a park also needs some benches. And let's go with this bench here. And add some of them in between the bushes and the trees then. So this will also take quite some time again. Yeah, another family moved in already. And we're full on the builders right now. So hopefully things will be finished quickly. And benches are in high demand, as we can see. They use it right away. Gonna ramp it up on buying honey from the locals. Right, this also gives more money to my locals, of course. And whenever there's someone that likes to buy some honey, we can sell. And it's 100 coin then again from this trader. So kind of like we redistribute the money from this village to my villagers by buying the honey from my locals and then selling it to someone else. Right, so everybody profits. He gets the honey. We get, as a middleman, some profit out of it. And my villagers get some money from selling the local produce. I think this could work out nicely. Apples is also something, but apples are so cheap, I'm probably never gonna bother selling them. We're also full on clothes, 500. So this is something I could still give him 300 clothes. There you go. Had a nice hemp harvest there, so really no problem in getting in more. I still don't know what hemp seeds are about, by the way. So we do have them, and they're not blocking anything. They're just there and they're ramping up. I haven't found a single way of selling them nor of using them on anything, so perhaps there is a use later. Alright, the pigsty is finished though, so the next trader that sells me some pigs, there it is. It's also close to the hay barrack. I'm considering adding a second hay barrack, because with so many animals, I really don't want any animals to starve, so this might be something to consider. So let's have another hay barrack then here close to my piggies. Just here somewhere. And wait a second, where's my, there it is, right? Cows, there's the bulls. Oh, we bought a newborn bull. Huh. All right. These should be the ones, right? So I kind of like confused the names here. So we got the cow, we got the ox, and then we got the bull. So the ox is a working cow, right? A working bull. And the bull here is the one for breeding. So that's the one. And we have now a bull. And past year 2, it should then work. And there's also this button here. Make this bull an ox. And then he would serve as a worker. But right now, he serves as someone that, yeah, gets my cows fertilized. And that's exactly what we want, as we want to get more cows. Right now, we got 14 producing us the milk. And we can get up to 20. So we definitely want to go there, because any cow past that we can slaughter then as well for some meat. And the same applies then for my pigsties. Alright, winter is over. Oh, nice. Like that. Going to the fallow field over here. I like my cherries. So we can also see now year since planted 3. So there should be harvest now this year. Nice. Give me pigs. No pigs. Alright, but I think it could be nice for selling it. We got 1,000 salt. We also got some. Oh, I think actually that's it. Yeah, but 1,000 salt we can sell. 100 coin. And by the way, we're sitting at 1,800, so we almost doubled our cash, our treasury in just a year. Unfortunately, I cannot see who sold me pigs. Who would be selling me pigs, so something I can't check out. I could, however, get more chickens going, because we have still a huge... Yeah, let's actually get 21 chicken for the sum of 250 coin. Because both of my chicken coops are not full yet. We have space for 30 chickens still. There's the dairy coming along. I might also consider building another fishing dock, since this one here is pretty much... Actually, it's not full yet. Let's assign 2 more people to that. I want to get more fish. Really important. Dairy has been finished. Let's get workers in here. And they will now then consume... Oh, it's female. Nice. Butter, cheese, and smetana that we can then use. This, of course, needs then more spots again at the granary. Unfortunately... Oh, wait a second. Granary... I mean, buckwheat and chicken eggs are never really in stock because they're being sold right away. So I might just get rid of them again. And get me in here then some butter and cheese. Because I think these will be in quite high demand. Or, well, production. There's the milk in, and there's already the butter. That was fast. And of course, butter and cheese. 2 more goods that we can put onto the market. Salt, butter, and cheese. That will make people very happy. At least I can't imagine life without butter. Butter and cheese and milk. So this is just a market stall just for productions from cows. Where's milk? Am I missing milk here in this huge list of goods? There it is. And honey, please. Or chicken eggs, you know. It's a farmer market stall right there. Finally a trader for the pigs. And... Ooh, 10 is 350. We can afford this though. And let's get also a boar. And that's the deal. Get them going. And let's get some workforce here going as well for the pigsty. There it is. Fantastic. So that's solved. Next in line, we could sell some honey again. So we got 1,000. Okay. Doesn't want me 1,000. Oh, 450 is the maximum. Oh, that's what he purchases. 40 coin. Alright. 250 on the clothes. 250 on the shoes. And yeah. Max this one out again. Yeah. On the coal. But that would basically get the money in again that we spent for the pigs. By the way, ladies and gents, we got the first new cows. 1 month old and bull 2 months old and bull 3 months old. Alright, these could be then oxen, so these here. These are new. And there's a newborn as well. So yeah, it's coming along. Fantastic. Super happy about this. We now have a growing cow herd. Gives me increasingly more milk. On the other side, there is the trader now, and there they are, my pigs. There's water, and there is already lots of wheat in stock as well for those piggies. And they will now hopefully start the production of meat for us. Lots of trade happening there right now. All the things coming in and out. I like this. Also, my chicken coops are full. Almost. That's something. And yeah, the cows are also growing. Next, we need pigs above a year old. So right now this is growing. So next year, the first pigs will be ready for slaughter. We do have the boar as well. The animal that will, make sure that we get more pigs. And once all of this is basically self-reproducing, right? And we got pigs over a year, we can build a slaughterhouse and get going on the meat production. Okay, next village house and the well has been finished. That's the well over here. And the next village house. This will lead then to almost 160 people now in stock in my town. So, of course, we want to continue with the growth. I'm going to have another one here. And we're probably also going to make this one into a bigger one. As this one here is also pretty big. There you go. That should do it. There's already one being built. This one has a well. I'm not going to add much more here. Oh, messenger. We could buy more pigs. There would be sheep then as well. Yeah, sheep is something I wanted to also tackle at some point. Construction crew is right full, so construction comes along very quickly at the moment, which leads to a nice population growth, as this next house is closing in on completion. Here it is. And also this little park here is coming along now. So of course the bushes and the trees need to grow first. But I think that's quite a nice area. Hopefully there's a little, road being formed then over here. Depending on how many people go to the benches and the gazebo. We have 1,500 apples in stock. This makes me very happy. Apples is something that we can sometimes sell, but right now I think I'd rather go ahead and use it on the market right away. So we will need a new worker, and this will be for apples. And by the way, also cherry. That is something we need as well. Hopefully with all those families moving in, we're getting another worker here soon. There it is. Selling now orchard produces, right? So that's the apples and the cherries. So I'm expecting something out of this one here. I mean, it's already October. Finished all the village houses there almost. So I'm gonna have another one here. And probably there's another one coming along, probably. Alright, so that we continue also the expansion into this area. 3 baby cows in this year. That's a lot. So depending on how fast this goes, we're above the limit now of what this cow shed here can hold. So either we build the slaughterhouse now, or I'm building a second cow shed, which increases to my hay consumption. But since we have so much hay, I don't think I care about this. So let's build another cow shed, as a matter of fact. Let's have this one over here by the other farm, so the cows can also use the fellow fields then here. And, interesting. Make it looking towards the farm then right away, like so. Oh, uneven terrain. Come on, there you go. This is possible, so the cows can use those fields. And I would like to, of course, get rid of this fence then here. And we're gonna add a new one that basically goes then over here. Salt, that makes me happy because we have a lot of salt to sell always. And sunflower, buckwheat, no, nothing else I would like to sell here. Chickens, no, also nothing on that front. Now there's the slaughterhouse. We're gonna need it for next year since there's a lot of construction going on right now. It's gonna take some time anyway. Got the hay here. I think the slaughterhouse could be close, especially where we have then all the, you know, the cow sheds here. I don't know, the chicken coops. I don't think we slaughter them. We'll just see. Let's have this one right here between those two roads. And as we can see, my construction team is gonna be quite busy now for a while. Let's add this one in here. And we're really full on nails, 1,100 nails. The rest is really just there, right? That's the planks and nothing else really you need on that front. Yeah, let's sell the honey that they demand. Some clothes we can sell again. There is the export stock. We have 500. Yeah. I'd rather keep some available as an emergency, just in case. Potatoes, we have 1,500 in the export stock. And that's about it. The one thing we definitely need to do is we need to increase the resource supply for the pigsty. So far, the only option that was checked here is the wheat and the barley. And everything else is at 0. So I'm going to increase now the stock of food for the pigs, so that we do not lose them. Right, so the stock needs to be that, I don't know, yearly. I think that's the normal stock just should be fine. It's coming in now, right, so that pigs don't die. We just lost the pig to that. The same applies for my chickens. I mean, we do have the wheat in here. This chicken coop, that's a bit of an overcrowding here too. What could they eat? They also do eat some buckwheat. We have that. We have sunflower. That's a bit strange that you need to enable this. There's hemp seeds. We have found a use for hemp seeds. I'm very happy to see that. And let's just get this all up and apply it to all the buildings of the same type. That's a nice feature. The cows don't really need any food except in winter, right? So all year long they're just eating there. Linseed is something we got. Apples, do we? Not cherries though. So cherries might be happening then this year. I'm not entirely sure that we sold any cherries at all. No, just the apples so far. A bit of a water problem. Just finished another well now over here. Of course, with a lot of village houses, you need more wells. There's another one. Get this one going too. By the way, my stone miner is also working nicely. It's just one, but you don't need stone that often. So 3,700 stone, that will last us for quite some time. There is my next cow shed now. And I'm going to, since I think this one here, wait a second, there it is overloaded now, right? So we can now transfer. Or do we need to transfer them? I think I can't even transfer them. I think we just wait until a new cow is being born and it should then being added to this cow shed here. Let's have just 2 workers here for the moment. There's no other option though. Let's get a manager going. And resource supply. Higher option. You know, nothing to transfer here. Getting the resources in first and then perhaps some cows come in once they get born. Slaughterhouse, super nice. 4 laborers and the workers right away. They need now salt. And they will then slaughter cows, sheep, pigs. Yeah, that's that. And of course, we can protect them as well. Oh, wow. We have too many pigs. And there's the first pig that is ready for delivery. No card is available right now. That's not true. Plenty of cards. 8 cards we have. I mean, might need to get another one still. So there it is. And we got the first cow being slaughtered. Beef, tallow, cow hides are coming in now. And with that, we can probably also start producing some leather on our own without having to import it all the time. So the livestock limit is 20, everything above that gets slaughtered. And I think here we have then 20, everything above that gets slaughtered. We protect, of course, the bull, right? The main bull. And I can even make another bull here into an ox. This ox should hopefully then be used, for example, here at the salt works again. There's another cow that will not be coming out again in one piece, unfortunately. There it is, beef. That could make people very happy too. You know, adds more food variety now. Cow hides and the tallow. The tallow we could make into soap then, we don't have that yet. And salo, there it is as well. And finally, my pigs are not dying anymore as we have all types of food now in stock. That can be used then here. Oh, that's the trader buying charcoal. By the way, 2,300. In this episode, not only did my population explode to 190 now, but also my income. Right, closing in on 2,500. And we got a nice bustling industry here now. I do have people looking for jobs again. This is also very nice to see. Open vacancies are also there though. And that means that we have room again for new productions, new industries perhaps. Whatever comes along, right? So we definitely want to start with some productions in here. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, Ostriv. I like how the town is coming along. Don't forget to leave a like behind. And also subscribe if you enjoy my content.